What is going on, Husker Nation? Long time no see. It's been a while since we went live, and we have a lot to talk about tonight, folks. Football's back. Well, at least kind of. Nebraska spring practice has begun today. For the next 4 to 5 weeks, the Huskers will be practicing, getting ready, for, of course, for the spring game, evaluating the quarterback battle, the offensive line, the defensive line, of course, trying to break out in a massive year 4 for Matt Rule. But not only that, the Huskers are trying to secure what could be one of the greatest recruiting classes in the history of the program. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. A lot of 5-stars who are interested in Nebraska. I mean, there's a lot of momentum. I know there's a lot of optimism in some places, pessimism in other places, but there's one thing that we can all agree on, and this Nebraska recruiting class is going to be phenomenal. So we'll talk about that today. Of course, we'll discuss Nebraska basketball, what's been going on with that program as the NCAA tournament looms, along with the Big Ten tournament. What is our seed going to be? How far can we actually make it? Well, of course, we have a Q&A. We'll talk about everything, all of your concerns, your questions. So everybody come in here, get in the comment section. Let me know you were tuning in from. It's going to be a fun live stream tonight. Again, been a while since I talked to you guys. So I'm looking forward to this one. I hope you guys are too. So let's get things started with the show. Let's talk about Nebraska spring practice. That's what we should talk about, right? That's the big headline. Nebraska, of course, began spring practice today. We practiced in the morning around 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So, no, again, we're going to have afternoon practices going forward, but for whatever reason, they practice in the morning today. But I did confirm the starting lineup for Nebraska on the offensive side of the football. Now, I want to make this very clear before we reveal the starting lineup that this is very fluid, that right now we really don't have a depth chart. We just kind of are, eyeballing who we think is going to start, at least going to the rest of spring ball, but things are very, very wide open. So right now, what we saw today in spring practice, the starters on offense are as such. Anthony Colandrea, quarterback 1. He was practicing with the ones today. Getting practice with everybody, but mostly with the ones, right? And we'll get into Anthony Colandrea as his live stream goes on. Running back starter as of today was Mekhi Nelson. Should not be a shock if you've watched the channel, right? Again, it's very wide open. Again, this is day 1 of spring ball, right? Everything's wide open, but this is as of today. Wide receivers, you can probably guess: Jacory, Barney, Nyziah Hunter, Kwazi, Gilmer, who we'll talk about. Tight end starter was Lindenmeyer, and the offensive line left to right: Elijah Pritchett, Paul Mubanga, Justin Evans, Brendan Black, and Tree Babalade. Those are the starters as of right now for Nebraska. Again, a lot is going to change. All the positional battles there just beginning. As of the defense, it's a little more sketchy. What I got from the defense, at least from a secondary standpoint, again, we know that the 2 corner starters as of right now, Andrew Marshall, Donovan Jones, looks like Jameer Khan slotting in at nickel. Safety's a lot more up in the air. Dwayne McDougal, we know, is starting. I'm not sure what's going on at free safety. Owen Chambliss and Ben Shavers with the linebacker starters. I am not sure at all with the defensive line. Again, the defensive line is going to be very fluid throughout all of spring practice. And again, I don't even know if we're going to have starters going into fall ball, right? It's going to be very, very wide open on the defensive line and the secondary. And again, quarterback, as always, as you would expect there. So those are the starters from what we heard today. But let's get into the quarterback room specifically. Let's talk about the QB room, Anthony Colandrea. Now, of course, this was something that the media team posted earlier today, a little bit of a hype video before we get to the actual one. Basically, Jacory, Barney celebrating after a big play. There's Anthony Colandrea doing a, I don't even want to know. They're doing a handshake or something, man. That's something you're going to see. Anthony Colandrea got a lot of swagger, and the guys like him. You're going to see a lot of handshakes on the sidelines with him. That's old school. It's old school. We haven't had that in a while. But this was the big video they just posted about 30 minutes ago, an hour, which was practice day. So let's dissect this, kind of what we saw here. Of course, you start off here, Jacory, Barney. Jacory looks kind of same old, right? I mean, no, not super big, not super skinny, but, he looks like Jacory. Got Isaiah there in the background, got Isaiah Mozee. Believe that's Jameer Khan right there. You, of course, got Mekhi Nelson. You could see Mekhi Nelson put on some weight. And he was already a good weight to begin with, but he put on some muscle. Be interesting if he changed his number at 35 there. There's Cortez. Again, there's Colandrea doing another handshake. Let's hope he has more touchdown passes than handshakes this year. If he is our starter, let's hope. Let's hope. You already said the handshakes though. That's the first. When he got to Lincoln, he was like, we'll practice football later. I gotta figure out handshakes with everybody. I'm just kidding. I think it's cool though. I think it's cool. So there's Daniel Kaelin. What we can see here, I believe Conor Booth's in the backfield. There's Grant Brix here. There is Preston here. This looks to be the 3rd or 4th string unit. Again, I don't even believe this is even our 3rd string unit. This is kind of just a random grouping here. So again, it's not like a third stringer like you're going to see maybe in fall ball. Let's see here. We got, here's TJ. Okay. Yeah. So we got the quarterbacks here a little bit. We got the quarterbacks here a little bit. We got Anthony Colandrea. We got Daniel Kaelin, all of them slinging it. Oh, yeah. Oh, Kwazi Gilmer. I don't know, man. People getting excited based off that one clip and one clip alone. But there's a lot to like, and I think honestly, I was thinking about this today, man. And you guys know me. I'm an optimist at heart. I really am. I am an optimist. My way too early prediction, I think I predicted 8 wins. And I was thinking about this roster today. I know everybody's pessimistic, but I'm thinking to myself today when spring practice began, what really on our team got worse? Like, let's talk about that right now to begin this update. What on our team got worse? Everything got better for the most part, besides the running back position, which we'll get to. But again, let's go down the line. Okay, did the receiver position get better or did it get worse? We return everybody. Jacory, Barney progresses, Nyziah progresses. You basically swap out Dane Key, who is Mr. Milkman, and you bring in Kwazi Gilmer. You have Janiran Bonner back. You have Demitrius Bell back. You have some freshmen in there who you like in a Jeremiah Jones and Larry Miles. So the receiver room objectively got better. Tight ends, it's the exact same room, but you add Luke Sorensen, who we think could potentially start for Nebraska. So tight ends got better. The offensive line, no question about it, got better. You brought in 3 starters, and you really only lost. You lost Henry Tufsky, Rocco Spindler, Teddy Prohaska, Turn Cork, and you brought in 3 legit dudes. Like, offensive line got better. Defensive line is a huge question mark, but it can't be worse than last year. It can't be. And trust me, it can't be. I know we say that and things end up getting worse. The D-line can't be worse than last year. So the D-line will at least be a little bit better. I don't know if it's going to be elite. I don't think it'll even be good, but it'll be better. Linebackers are better. DBs, that's it. I think the DBs are probably worse. It really depends on 2 things. Number 1, how good is Dwayne McDougal? Number 2, can Danny start as a true freshman? And then obviously the running position got worse, but for the majority, I mean, this team got better. It really did. The coaching staff, you could argue, got better. Like, there's a lot of optimism right now in Nebraska. And I posted something earlier today because I was starting to get hyped up for spring ball, and I said there are a couple of reasons to get optimistic for Nebraska. Number 1, I mean, what if Danny Odom is that 5-star starter that we think he could be, right? That will transcend the second year to a different level. Elijah Pritchett and Tree Babalade, you're starting left and right tackles. Like, that's the best duo we've had there in a very, very long time, at least from Elijah Pritchett's standpoint, who played very well at the end of the season. You have a great receiver core. You have a great linebacker core, which we've talked about ad nauseum. Williams Zaneri could very well break out, former 5-star. He had a great season last year until kind of the end of the year where he got banged up. Again, we already feel good about Luke Sorensen. Okay, you have some younger players in the interior defensive line like a Jasir Winnington, like a Tyson Terry, like a Malcolm Simpson you feel good about. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to give you – I think there are a lot of YouTubers, and I should say there's not like a lot of big YouTubers anymore to talk Nebraska outside of me and a couple others. I should say journalists. There are some journalists out there, Nebraska media figures, who will try to give you Kool-Aid, but they really won't back it up, and they won't tell you why they're optimistic. Like, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what I'm optimistic with, I'm pessimistic with, and I'm starting to feel better about this roster as we go into spring ball. Of course, I mean, the spring game will be very revealing, and you could figure out a lot of our flaws in the spring game, but again, I mean, this is an improved roster. It really is. You're already going to see that, within this first week. You're going to see that with the quarterback play. So, let's begin with the quarterback conversation, right? I mean, and again, this goes back to the press conference we had the other day for Matt Rule and Dana Holgorsen. Like, is this even a real quarterback battle? Like, that's my question to you in your mind. And again, I know there's a lot of people who are on the, I call them, what was my nickname for the Colandrea group? I forgot. There's the Lateef loyalists. What is the Colandrea? I don't even know. I got to make up a nickname for the Colandrea grouping, the fan club. Hold on, I'm gonna think of it real quick. But I know there's a lot of people who are on Team Anthony, Team TJ. But I think we can all agree, though, we need a quarterback battle. I don't really know why Matt Rule didn't entertain that. I don't know why Dana Holgorsen didn't entertain that. I think they want to be as transparent as possible. But my evaluation of the situation is this: we have 3 good quarterbacks. We don't have a single great quarterback on this roster yet. That's why there should be a quarterback battle, right? Anthony Colandrea is a good quarterback. He certainly is. Certainly a good quarterback. I was a fan of Anthony Colandrea before most Nebraska fans knew his name back in November. Back when Dylan Rile was on the roster, I said, this is our guy, right? I remember that video back in November. I can pull it up for you guys. I'm a fan of TJ, as you guys know. I'm a fan of Danny, as you guys know. But I believe we have 3 good, not great quarterbacks on the roster. However, in my eyes, you have 2 quarterbacks who could be great in TJ Lateef and Daniel Kaelin. At this point in Anthony Colandrea's career, I don't know if he can get to that great point. I don't know if he can get to that elite point, right? You're asking a lot of a 23-year-old who the last time he was in Power 4 football struggled mightily. Like, he was a great UNLV quarterback, but it's a little bit different when you play for UNLV than when you go to Nebraska. So That's why I'm concerned there's not a quarterback battle because as of right now, who's the best quarterback in the room? Yes, it's Anthony Colandrea. No question it is. No question. I'm not naive. I understand that. But just because Anthony's the best quarterback right now, does that mean he's going to be the best quarterback in 5 months? No, it does not. Especially if we think that TJ is going to get better, especially if we think Danny is going to get better. I just go back to arm talent. Arm talent's the number one thing that you really can't teach arm talent, right? And Mike Leach did it perfectly when he, of course, former head coach at Washington State, Mississippi State, God rest his soul. He said you can't really teach arm talent. When you're evaluating high school players whether they got it or they don't got it. And Anthony's one of those guys where what makes Anthony a good quarterback is not his arm. It is like he can make plays off script, but it's really his legs, right? It's his confidence, it's his teamwork, it's his ability, stuff like that. But if you ask Anthony Colandrea to make the throws that you ask Dylan Riley to do, it's not really going to be the same result. Anthony is not as precise of a passer. Anthony does throw a little bit of a wobbly spiral. Anthony will throw some 50-50 balls that will help you, but at times it'll be to a detriment. Anthony, there will be games where he's on fire, right? On fire. Anthony could lead us to an upset versus, in Indiana, like in Oregon, because again, that's how much of a gamer he is. And there will be a game in there with Anthony where he could lead you to lose to Michigan State because that's the type of quarterback Anthony is. Do you really want to go and not have a battle for a guy like that? Like the main thing when it comes to Anthony, can he figure out his turnovers? That's a huge issue with me. Like if you are going into next year and throwing 10 interceptions, I don't see a world where we can win 7 games. I don't, especially with the concerns we have on the defensive side of the football in the trenches. We got to, take care of the rock. And that's something that's kind of prevailed throughout his entire career. So that's why I'll continue to pound the table for a quarterback battle while I understand, hey, Anthony's the best quarterback right now. Yes, absolutely is. But just because he's the best quarterback now doesn't mean he's the best quarterback in 5 months. You know what I mean? So that was the main thing that I was frustrated. I was frustrated with, Matt Rule not addressing in the press conference. Like, hey, I want you to go out there and say it's about, and honestly, what I wanted Matt Rule to do is say, hey, Anthony Colandrea is quarterback 3. That's what I wanted. Because you don't want to know how Anthony can earn respect starting off as quarterback 3 and earning quarterback 1. That's what I would have liked, honestly. That's old school, though. That's old school. That doesn't happen in modern day college football. That doesn't happen. That does not happen in modern day college football. But that's what I would have loved, right? That's what happens in the NFL, though. Like when, for example, when an NFL team drafts a first-round pick, that first-round pick, more likely than not in training camp, they start off as the backup, and then they end up earning it, and start going into their rookie year, but they have to earn it, right? So honestly, again, not a huge fan of the way they're going about it. I still think it's a quarterback battle. Like, again, I was told by multiple people within all of the camps, right? People who are not quarterbacks, people who are quarterbacks, you can infer where I'm going with this. Internally, they know it's a quarterback battle. So the narrative that TJ's been told you're going to be the backup and you might redshirt, and the narrative that, Anthony knows he's the guy, like that's not the case. Like internally, they've made it very clear it's a battle, but externally, they're kind of coming off of, as it's, Anthony Colandrea's show. I wonder why that is. It's interesting. It's interesting, and it's something we'll follow, but, again, and I know people will ask me this. They'll say, Wilson, who do you want to start? Who do you think's the best? Again, it really, to me, it comes down to the guy who will lead us to the most big victories, right? The guy who, has an opportunity to upset a team like Washington, upset a team like Illinois. And if that's TJ, then absolutely it should be TJ. If that's Anthony, it should be Anthony. And I also want a quarterback who's not going to throw the ball in harm's way. Now, both those quarterbacks have that little bit of an issue, but we'll see. We'll see. But again, some to follow there with the quarterback battle. But Anthony Colandrea already getting a lot of respect in that locker room. Along with TJ Lateef, of course. Again, I thought it was interesting when Dana mentioned the other day, he said he met with Jacory Barney like a week ago, and they were hyping up TJ. All those guys were hyping up TJ. That's interesting, right? And again, Danny has a huge support on this team as well. Danny's a hometown kid, right, who was on this squad 2 years ago, right? So again, I do believe this is the best quarterback room we've had in years. However, again, my concern is that we don't have a great quarterback yet. Like it's not great to have 3 okay quarterbacks. I would much rather have 1 elite quarterback and 2 scrubs than 3 good quarterbacks and no scrubs. So I want an elite guy. I don't know if we have an elite guy just yet. It reminds me, I don't love NFL comparisons, but it kind of reminds me of the New York Giants in a way, where you have Jameis Winston right there, kind of comparing to Anthony Colandrea, streaky veteran quarterback. You have, the high upside younger player, you could say TJ Lateef, Jackson Dart. He could be good, he could be terrible, and you have Daniel Kaelin, who could be, compared to Russell Wilson in a way. Again, not an apples to apples comparison there, but that's something I was thinking about. which way do you want to go about it? But I hopefully this staff treats this as seriously as it should be treated, right? If we're going into year 4, we're handing quarterback jobs to people, and I'll say this too. Number one, this coaching staff has not done a good job evaluating quarterback talent in the past. So even if they pick TJ, who says TJ's the best? If they pick Anthony, who says Anthony's the best? Because what has Matt Rule showed you in a couple years here, knowing that he could pick the right guy? I don't know if he has picked the right guy, especially when Jeff Sims was here. And number two is this. I forgot my second point. What was my second? I'll get back to it. That was my second point. But again, my question is whether or not I can actually evaluate the right guy. Also, here, my second point is this. I love how they're hyping up AC, hyping up Anthony, but Anthony wasn't even their first choice, right? They didn't want Anthony originally. Back when I was hyping up Anthony, in November, they wanted Kenny Minchey. So my question is this. If there actually is no quarterback battle and you're just going to give it to Anthony, if Kenny, who was your first choice, was here and didn't end up going to Kentucky, was Kenny going to be gifted the battle? Because that makes things look even worse, right? Like if Kenny was going to be gifted, again, you went through this process and you evaluated all the quarterbacks in the portal and you came away thinking that Kenny Minchey was better than Anthony Colandrea. That is what Matt Rule thought. So let's say in a hypothetical world that Matt Rule is handing the job to Colandrea, which again, that's his decision to make. If Kenny Minchey was here, would he also hand the job to Kenny Minchey? Because again, that looks a lot worse to hand a job to Kenny Minchey, who has never started a game in 3 years. And there is the kind of the ilk of our problem, right? Again, that's just a hypothetical though. So we'll see there around the quarterback room. But again, something we'll have an update around pretty much all week of spring practice, see what's going on there with TJ as we get more and more intel. Talking a little bit about the receivers for Nebraska. Again, this is the room that I'm starting to get really excited about. And again, it is one of the best receiver rooms in the Big Ten. It's one of the best receiver rooms in America on paper. The thing about the receivers, I continue to bring this up, we certainly have talent at the receiver room. We certainly have guys with the production. But for whatever reason, with Nebraska and the receivers, we feel great about it, and then we end up getting to the fall, and what happens? They fall off a cliff. We have guys like Jacory, Barney who don't show up. We had guys like Dane Key last year who don't show up. We have Nyziah who's really good at his peak, but also streaky. That cannot happen this year. And some of that was Dylan Rila. Some of that was Dana Holgerson to blame. Some of that was those receivers not getting separation. So, with Jacory Barney, you'll hear the hype all offseason like you've heard for the last 2 years. The main thing I'm looking at for Jacory is he has to improve his route running this year. The route running last year was awful. I mean, that nobody talked about it, but that's the reason he's going to get open in man coverage. Not because of Dylan all the time, but because Jacory just was not getting open, was not finding separation. He has got to be man coverage at a higher level. He has the speed, but he does not have the route running just yet. Nyziah Hunter, we're at the point with Nyziah where he is a jack of all trades, master of none. I mean, he's really good at everything. I mean, or I should say he's good at everything, right? Solid hands, solid catch radius, solid separation and route running, right? Solid speed, solid height, more than solid blocking. But I need him to be a master of that, right? And if he can do that, I can see Nyziah Hunter jump up to some NFL draft projections. And then Kwazi Gilmer, who we've already heard the hype around, he could very well be the best receiver on this team, coming out of UCLA. He needs to, once again, improve his route running, which I think is already probably the best in the squad, improve his contested catch ability, and he's going to be perfectly fine. But you have a great receiver core right there, but it just really stems with route running. That's something that we struggled at for years. Other than that, though, the depth's not bad either, right? Again, you got Cortez, who we expect to take a jump forward. You got Janiran in there, who's a hybrid tight end. I'm not as high on Janiran as the staff is. I'm going to be real with you. Like, Janiran, his entire career has like 100 receiving yards, but still, I mean, he's somebody who the staff loves. And he does get involved in more ways than just what the box score indicates. I mean, you got Quinn Clark in there who, we know can make plays and go up and get jump balls, right? Again, you even got like a Jeremiah Jones there. So the receiver room's solid, and you're going to hear that throughout spring ball, and you're going to hear that throughout fall ball, but we need to see these guys actually show up in the fall. But again, the hype there is real. The hype there is real around Nebraska's wide receivers. And then the main takeaway we had from the day as well, the secondary, right? And if you remember last year in spring practice, the secondary struggled mightily. I mean, it was bad how awful the secondary was in spring practice. And then for whatever reason, we got to fall ball and bang. I mean, some switched, right? And the secondary started dominating. So it's pretty normal for Nebraska secondary not start off very well in spring ball. That kind of wasn't the case today. The early returns from spring practice today was actually the secondary outplayed the receivers, right? We feel great about a guy like Andrew Marshall, right? Andrew Marshall, that was huge for Nebraska to retain him. He had a lot of interest nationally. We expect him to be potentially better than Sear, right? Dwayne McDougal has gotten hype over these past weeks. He could be a Shawn Singleton 2.0. And again, what's very, very interesting to me is this corner battle, right? Because again, you have really 3 boundary corner options with Victor Evans. You have, of course, Danny Odom. You have Donovan Jones. You have even an Amari Sanders, a Larry Tarver. We'll see what happens outside of Andrew Marshall. Honestly, I'm disappointed they're going to put Donovan Jones back out wider boundary. Again, they could change it, right? We have all spring to evaluate. But in my eyes, Donovan Jones is best at nickel, right? We've seen that throughout his career, right? He's built to play nickel in the Big Ten. He's physical, but he's not speedy enough to play boundary, and you've seen that. Where again, there's a lot of players on our team who can play boundary, not enough who can play nickel. I would love to slot in Donovan Jones and nickel, put in Danny Odom at the boundary corner spot alongside Andrew Marshall. That's a solid 3 there. You have Dwayne McDougal, you have Jason Shiggs. It's a solid secondary. But the fact that Nebraska secondary played as well as they did today, and usually they have a slow start. Like, again, this could very well pick up, where it did last year to be a top 10 in America, which it needs to be, right? If they take a step back, it's going to be bad for this defense. Really, really bad. Because, the secondary was the only thing going in our favor last year. If our secondary was not even top 10, we would have not made a bowl game. We would have lost against Maryland for sure. We would have lost probably against Michigan State. So again, we can't afford to have the secondary take a step back. But those were the early returns, the corner room, the quarterback room, and also the wide receivers. So again, talking about, kind of the hype train going on right now. Again, I'm getting casually optimistic. I really am. I understand the schedule is daunting, and that's why people are holding back. And I understand, people are very frustrated with Matt Rhule, and none more than me. Like, I'm very adamant, right, with Matt Rhule's flaws, and I'll call him out for it when needed. But again, when I look at this roster, when you fully evaluate not only the top end talent, but the depth, it's improved. It certainly is. The schedule, once you evaluate the schedule, it's not as bad as what we initially thought. Yes, Oregon will be tough. Yes, Indiana will be tough. Yes, Ohio State will be tough. But every other game besides that, they're all winnable, right? Washington's a winnable game at home. That's going to be the day after Halloween, blackout. Like, that'll be a winnable game. Illinois will be a winnable game. They're going to take a tremendous, tremendous step back with Kaden Hauser at quarterback, right? Iowa, I know Iowa's a sore subject, but Iowa, yes, am I projecting right now for us to beat Iowa? No, but Iowa's a winnable game. Okay, they just are. They always are a winnable game. Do we win those games? No, but they are winnable. And they have a quarterback now in Jeremy Helinski who has some huge flaws, right? Again, the running attack is going to be very tough with Kamari Moulton, with LJ Phillips coming out of South Dakota, who we should have gotten the portal, to say the least. But again, all those games are winnable. And then outside of that, you got Maryland. That's a dub. You got, what is it? Is it Northwestern? No, it's Rutgers. Rutgers is a dub. And you got Michigan State. Are we really? Michigan State, I'm a little bit nervous about that, but still, again, it's not as bad of a schedule as I think what some people are hyping about to me. Now, am I saying we're going to win 10 games? No. Am I saying we're going to make the playoffs? No. I'm just saying, allow yourself to get a little excited, right? I think a lot of people who are going through this offseason doom and gloom and saying, I got to see to believe it. Well, what fun is that, right? What fun is that? At some point, you got to believe in something. At least get excited about something, right? I'll give you a couple options here. You can get excited about the DB core. You can get excited about the receivers. You can get excited about an improved offensive line with Elijah Pritchett, Tree Babalade, Justin Evans, one of the best returning centers in America. Like, I can get you excited about the offensive line. Cool. I just need you to have a sip of Kool-Aid. I'm not going to ask you to drink the full gallon right now. Just have a sip. Just a sip. You can still be pessimistic about some parts. You can be pessimistic about Matt Rhule. I'm on the same train as you. You can be pessimistic about Dana Holgorsen. I'm on the same train as you. You can be pessimistic about the defensive line, the running back core. I'm on the same train as you. But let me give you one shot of optimism, and hopefully maybe as offseason progresses, we get a little more excited about it. You never know. We get burnt, we get burnt. We've been there before. That's something we're all used to. It's something we're all used to, though. So anyways, starting to feel a little better about it. But again, huge spring ball ahead of us. Big spring game coming up. We'll talk a little bit more about spring practice as this live progresses. We're about to get in the comment section as well. But let's get to some quick basketball talk here. Then we'll get to the comment section, everything you guys have said. It's been a while since we talked to you guys, so I'm sure you guys have a lot of comments. But let's talk a little bit about Husker basketball, because we're getting to that point where we need to lock in with this basketball team. Again, we are sitting here on February 21st, and we have the 9th ranked basketball team in America. And yet, am I crazy? But it still feels like people aren't like bought in yet. Like, people are bought in, don't get me wrong, but it's not like it should be. You know what I mean? And maybe I say that as a YouTuber who, is very familiar with this fan base, but we got to start supporting this basketball team with everything, because again, they blew up Penn State today. I was watching that game. Obviously, Price Sanford put up 33. It was unbelievable. Penn State stinks, by the way, but Nebraska could very well be a 2 or 3 seed in the tournament. Nebraska could very well make the Sweet 16. Nebraska could very well make the Final Four this year. It's been an impressive run. I'll put it at that for Nebraska basketball, but I am very, very concerned about the tournament because really there's three issues right now. Number one, it's our momentum, right? We were hot in January. We were hot. Nobody could beat us, right? Again, we started off beating Wisconsin bad, beating Illinois, which is a huge win, right? Beating Michigan State, beating Ohio State. We were hot. Nobody could beat us down. And then you you lose one. There comes the hurricane, right? To the point where we're not playing our best basketball right now. We've lost 4 of our last 7, right? So ideally, Nebraska would end out this streak undefeated, beating Maryland, which should be an easy dub. USC just lost today to Oregon. UCLA is going to get blown up by Illinois right now. Iowa should beat them at home. If you can do that, give momentum, I feel a lot better about our stretch going into the Big Ten tourney and the NCAA tournament as well. But that's the main thing. Like, we just don't have the momentum we used to. Number 2, and this is the problem I have with the squad, is we are not a good rebounding team. That is the huge issue in my mind. Because when you get to the tournament every single year, the best teams who make the deepest runs can rebound and are physical in the interior. Nebraska can do pretty much everything else except for rebounding, right? That's not some small flaw. That is a huge flaw, right? That will show up. And also, the last issue I have right now is it's just kind of our bench, and it's also our injury situation, right? We have a lot of injuries, right? With Burke, who did not play today, Jamarcus Lawrence, who rolled his ankle, right? We know our bench is not great. We're really a 7-deep team. Really, it's mostly 6 deep. Like, I don't even know if I count Gibson, to be honest with you. Like, it's very tough to make a run, being a 6 deep. So again, there are some concerns right now in Nebraska basketball, but to me, it's one game at a time. Right now, I mean, it looks pretty much solidified to be a 3 seed. I think we can lose one more and we'll still be a 3 seed. If we can win out and maybe make a run the Big Ten tournament, a 2 seed is very, very, very possible, especially with what we saw today in college basketball, where Kansas lost, right? So so basically what they did, they released the NCAA released the early seeding. Today we were released as a 3 seed, number 11 overall. Kansas was, I believe, number 10. But with Kansas losing today to Cincinnati, we're now going to be the 10th team in America. And if there's some more upsets in there, we could very well jump up to 8, which would give us a 2 seed. So we just got to win out. We got to control. We could control. That Iowa loss was pretty bad. I mean, that was unacceptable. We shouldn't have lost against Iowa, But it is what it is. But again, we're getting into the point of no return. Nebraska basketball, I'm getting excited about, watching this team playing some actual big time ball games in March. Like, we've never seen this with Nebraska basketball before. We've never seen that before, ever, right? We've never ever got to March ever and had an opportunity to run the table. And I'm not saying we're going to win the national championship by any means, but we could very well make the Sweet 16. Very well can make the Elite 8. Now, Final Four is where it gets sketchy. I don't know if we can make the Final Four this year, but again, if you told the majority of Nebraska fans just a couple months ago we would make the Sweet 16, they would say, "Sign me up," right? So I'm getting incredibly excited about the tournament for Nebraska, but we'll see how big of a run we end up making here. But again, the main thing, I mean, Rienk Mast got to get going, right? Rienk Mast too inconsistent, along with Jamarcus Lawrence. Hopefully, he's healthy after his rolled ankle. All right, let's talk a little bit about Nebraska recruiting before we get to the comment section here. I'll get into what's going on. Oh, my goodness. Pull up 24/7. Do not want to pull up 24/7. 24/7 is washed. Got to get into On 3. So, again, right now, the recruiting coverage is going to very well ramp up on the channel as we get into March, as we get into April, because I think there's a huge misconception. I think a lot of the older fan base doesn't really understand this just yet, but recruiting, okay, first off, the 26th class is over. So I know I get comments about that, like, Wilson, why are you talking about the 26th class? The 26th class has been over for like 6 months. So again, 27 class is the focus right now. And the 28 class is also becoming in focus. That's why we talked about that the other day. But what people don't understand is that starting in March, this is the peak season for the 2027 class. It goes from really March to early July. That's when you see all the visits. That's when you see all the commitments. Once we get to July, it's like literally over. Like, you might see a couple flips here and there after July, but like, it's not, I think flips aren't as prevalent as what some people like to say. Like, flips happen. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's not like everybody's flipping a million times. It just doesn't really happen. Right. So I saw that say this. Some people are like, oh, it's still very early in the class. It's not. Like, this is when things happen. I mean, this is when people commit, starting going into March. We already have 7 commits as it is. Like, we've already seen commits. So again, a lot going on with the recruiting class, and again, official visits. People ask me, Wilson, why are official visits important? Are these recruits just get free visits to Nebraska? Again, that's another naive comment, right? Official visits basically mean we made a prospect's top 3. It means that we made their top 4. Prospects do not take official visits just to get free merch, right? They do that in their like freshman years. Like official visits are very, very real. That's when they discuss NIL. That's when they discuss playing time. That's when they get in the nitty gritty. So again, if we made an official visit, right, it's a big deal. We got some legit players coming on official visits, whether it's the number 1 offensive tackle in America, 5-star Mark Matthews, whether it's the number 2 offensive tackle in America, or 5-star Kennedy Brown, whether it's the number 3 offensive tackle in America, whether it's the number 1 offensive guard in America, whether it's the number 2 offensive guard in America. Now, I don't know how Nebraska is having this much recruiting success. Like, I actually don't really understand it, to be honest with you. Like, you think we'd fall off in this recruiting class. You think it'd get a little worse, you know, with how much money we're willing to spend and, you know, with the lack of results. And somehow the opposite's happening. Now, you know, a lot of it is honestly thanks to Trey Taylor and what he's been doing behind the scenes. But, you know, a lot of it's also thanks to Matt Rhule. I mean, Matt Rhule, say what you want about him. He has proved a lot of people wrong. He is a good recruiter, right? He's somebody who is very personable, who these players want to play for. I mean, there's a reason why I think there's a misconception that Matt Rhule has maybe lost the locker room. Like I'm of the belief that the culture isn't as strong as what some people think it is, but the locker room still loves Matt Rhule to this very day. They rally around that guy. He's not lost the locker room, right? If anything, it's more stronger than ever before. That's why the recruiting class is about to have as much success as having. You know what I mean? Where you get to these receivers, all the top receivers want to come to Nebraska, whether it's Sean Bowman, right? 5-star. Whether it's Quinton Burrell, who we'll talk about in the coming days, Khalil Taylor, right? You have some hidden gems receiver. Whether it's Ahmad Hudson, whether it's Mark Matthews, whether it's Kennedy Brown, like it's actually unbelievable the amount of talent we're bringing in on visits, and visits are a very, very, very big deal. So if there's anything you should allow yourself to get excited about, it's the recruiting class. People will say, "Well, Wilson, we've been hoodwinked before by Nebraska recruiting." Well, I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. We've never seen anything like this in at least in my lifetime. We've never seen this many high quality 5-stars visit Nebraska in one offseason. We have never seen the number 1 offensive tackle and number 2 offensive tackle and number 1 guard all consider Nebraska in one offseason. We've never seen this elite of a quarterback commit pure recruiting for us. We've never, again, it's pretty much unbelievable. So allow yourself to get excited about this recruiting class because it could very well make or break the program. Right? It could very well. I mean, and also a lot of these guys are day 1 impact players. You know, people will say, "Well, we need transfers because transfers can play day 1." Well, newsflash: half these dudes who are recruiting are gonna play day 1. Like, I'll go down the list for y'all. Amir Brown, if he stays in Nebraska, will play day 1. Wide receiver. If we link Sean Bowman 5-star, he'll play day 1. Quinn Burrell will play day 1. Khalil Taylor will play day 1. Ahmad Hudson will play day 1. Even, you know, star offensive lineman Mark Matthews will play day 1. If some way we can land him, he was coming on the OV, we're in his top 4, he will play day 1. Kennedy Brown will play day 1. Albert Simeon will play day 1. Okay. Duve Williams will play day 1. He's visiting. JuJu Johnson will play day 1. He's visiting. Arian Washington, he'll play day 1. He's visiting. Okay. Torrey Pittman probably play day 1. He's visiting. Well, he's already committed. Corey Hadley will play day 1. Tavares Harrington will play day 1. Like, so I think all these guys are day 1 contributors, and they're not some schmuck day 1 contributors. All those guys could compete to start at a very high level, right? And they could go to any program and start. So, anyways, a lot of optimism with the recruiting class. We'll get more and more pumped up about that, kind of as the offseason goes on. But I'm getting excited about it because there is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And again, I'll start talking more prospects. I'll start getting communication with a lot of these prospects, trying to give you guys some inside scoops because a lot of the prospects watch my videos and they'll text me, and I'm not one of those guys to like text a lot of these prospects and beg them for stuff like beat reporters do. I just try to, you know, show respect to a lot of these guys, but maybe every now and then I might say, "Hey, wait, what's going on in Nebraska?" You know what I mean? Because they have a lot of interesting things to say, and at times they'll give me a lot of good information because again, I'm young and relatable, right? I'm their age, you know what I mean? I'm not some 40-year-old Nebraska beat reporter who, you know, is looking weird. You know what I mean? Talking like a 16-year-old. Like they're my age. They can relate to me, I guess. So that allows me to bring the best content to you guys. But just know the recruiting content will also speed up because, again, the peak times, March, April, May, June, and then a little bit of July. And that's really when this class we'll see how good it really, really becomes. All right, with that being said, it's time to hear from you guys, man. Let's get into the comment section. We have a lot to talk about. We're just getting started. We'll talk about spring ball as this goes on. Have a couple more talking points, but I've waited for a while to hear from y'all. I gotta see what you guys are talking about. But let's get into here. I gotta see some in here. I gotta see any good ones in here. See, I got a cherry pick, man. I got a cherry pick. Let's see. Wilson, who is taking over a halfback since Emmett Johnson's in the NFL draft? It's going to be Mekhi. It's going to be Mekhi. I mean, they'll say there's going to be a battle between Isaiah and Mozee, and they'll say Jamal Rule's in the mix. They'll say Quinn Ives. It'll be Mekhi, right? And Mekhi's the best running back in the room. Now, I'm not of the belief just because Mekhi's the best running back in the room, it does not mean Mekhi's a great running back. It just means he's the best that we got. But he's certainly the best one. Like Isaiah Mozee, again, I'm just of the belief that he's not a traditional running back, and it's very, very tough to learn that in a year. Quinn Ives, I told you how I feel about Quinn Ives. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Like this brother, that is the only guy where I'm like, I got to see that brother play on Saturdays to believe anything in him at this point, and I got to believe he can stay healthy. Right, that's the number one issue I have with Quinn Ives. Right, Jamal Rowe, I just think Jamal Rowe is a far ways away. I just believe that. Although I like Jamal Rowe, I think he could be saw. I think he's a hidden gem. So it will be Mekhi, but I'll tell you this from Mekhi. I don't think Mekhi's a top 10 running back in the conference. Yeah, I can say that pretty easily. Now, he could easily prove me wrong. I was wrong about Emmett last year. I thought Emmett was a top 10, not top 5 running back in the conference. I was wrong, right? As was everybody else, right? Nobody thought Emmett was going to be a Heisman candidate like he was. But I was wrong about Emmett. I don't think I'm going to be wrong again, right? Like it's just, and everybody was wrong about Emmett. You know, it's just that we have a very scary running back room, and we know the importance of that position. In order to have a good offense, you need an elite running back core. You know, not only do we not have an elite guy, I don't even know if we have a great guy. You know, I don't even know if we have a good guy, right? That's a huge issue for me. I want you to see my Nebraska man cave. How can I send it to you? You can text me on either of my socials up there or follow me on any of my socials, cheeky plug, or you could email me, I guess, at WilsonDittman@gmail.com. I'll take a look at it, my guy. Nebraska basketball should get a double bye for the Big Ten tournament, make a strong showing to get the best seeding possible for the NCAA. They will have so much pressure. And yeah, that's why I'm nervous. Like they're going to have a lot of pressure, right? Because they're going to hear the narrative. We got to get our first NCAA tournament win. There's a lot of pressure right now. Let me see. Hold on. What does the tournament bracket look like? Because they change it every year. Let me pull this up what the tournament bracket looks like. Because I don't know what are the implications to get a bye anymore, right? I don't even know what it looks like. Hold on, let me see. Is it the same thing as last year, or is it different? Okay, no, this is a baseball. Hold on. Yeah, I don't even know what the brackets look like. I'm not even gonna lie with you, man. I'm trying to find it because they changed it up. Because I know that last year only 14 teams participated. Now all 18 can participate. Oh, is this it? No, it's not it. Yeah, I have no idea. Is this it? Maybe. No. Yeah, I'm trying to find the bracket on what it'll look like. Maybe this is it? No. Maybe. When does it start? No. Yeah, I don't know. I could not tell you what that bracket's gonna look like. I think is it the top 4 who get a bye? That's why I projected to be. That's what I think it's gonna be. So 4-0 softball. Who are we playing for softball, man? I know softball's tough this year. I mean, hopefully they'll make a run for the Women's College World Series. I can't watch softball. Like I just can't, man. I struggle to watch baseball. You know, I do. I'm mostly a football, basketball, golf guy. I like golf. I'll watch golf. I don't know. Why are people dissing Anthony because he lost to Boise State? It's not just his fault. I don't think anybody's dissing him because he lost to Boise State. I don't think anybody cares about that. I just think it's just his play style. I think people are concerned about his turnovers. I think people are concerned about his arm talent, as they should, right? I mean, there's a lot of issues there. I think people are concerned about kind of his gunslinger nature. So I don't think people are bringing up the Boise State loss by any means. Just kind of, you know, what we've seen with him starting for 3 years. Like it's not like Anthony Colandrea is a question mark. We have seen 3 years of tape with him, you know, and there's been a lot of good. There's also some bad. There's reason to be concerned there, you know, there is. My man Declan says, Wilson, bro, you're unk. I am unk, bro. I turned 20 years old a week from today. On February 28th, next Saturday, I'm officially 20 years old. I'm out of my teenage years, man. Gonna have a midlife crisis. I'm unk. That's what the kids say. I'm unk. I'm uncle, man. My man Isaac, my favorite Iowa fan. What's up, Isaac? He says, trade proposal Wilson. Iowa gets Sanford back in Nebraska, gets a win versus us in football. I don't know, man. Sanford's good, dude. I don't know. Am I wrong for taking that deal? Am I wrong for taking that deal, though? I love basketball, but am I wrong for taking that deal? I don't know. Am I wrong for taking that deal? I'll make you this deal, Isaac. We can keep Sanford for the rest of the year. Let us go on a roll with him, and we'll bring it back to y'all next year. But give us a victory for us football in 2026. That's what I ask. That's what I ask. Good to hear from you, Isaac, man. Good to hear from y'all. Again, y'all put in your questions in the comment section. I'm getting all you guys tonight. Again, we haven't went live in about 2 months. So I know, whether you got a question about spring practice, whether you got concerns, let me know your concerns. Let me know. I don't know. Oh, I don't know what's gonna go on with this team. Let me know. But we're gonna talk about all of it. Again, it's gonna be a busy live stream tonight, folks. It's gonna be a busy live stream. Wilson, what is the floor this season? Yeah, I think it's 5. I don't think anything below that. I think it should be 5 wins. Should be, and I don't think it should be anything lower than that. Do you think Nebraska should wear other helmet stickers on the white helmet? Nah, the stickers are just so small. It's like you can't even really tell. Should they wear white face masks? I know. I like the helmet as it is, to be honest with you. I'm a traditionalist with the helmet. Like I don't want to mess up with the end. I don't want to mess up with the face mask or anything. I like it. The only thing I'd change the helmet for is like an alternate. You know what I mean? I remember when they wore the gray face mask versus Oklahoma in 2021. That looked terrible in my opinion. That was when I was like, no, you can never change the face mask because that was not a good look. They did like that randomly too. They didn't even announce it. They just like showed up wearing the gray face mask and thought it was gonna go viral. Like, all right. That's Scott Frost for you, man. Oh, we got to talk about the Scott Frost thing too, man. We got to talk about that as well. How does anyone justify settling for who we have at running back when all the best teams prioritize it? And since Anthony may be an interception machine, like how do we plan to move the ball? Man, Ross, it's a great question, you know? And again, that's the question that everybody's asking. And again, they just don't value running back. Like that is what I told you guys for 2 years now. I've preached that over and over again. I preached that last offseason. Nebraska does not value the running back position from a high school or money standpoint. Okay. Again, a great example. I haven't really shared this story before, but I'll share it now. I think I shared it the other day, funny enough, but I'll do it on this live stream. There's a great example of how little we value the running back position. I'll give you 2. Okay. First, the Emmett Johnson situation initially. Emmett Johnson wanted to transfer away from Nebraska in 2024 because of Matt Rule, because he did not like Matt Rule and he did not like Marcus Satterfield. We gave him a raise to $300,000, which was pennies. Emmett Johnson got paid more by other universities to transfer elsewhere, but he loved Nebraska. He said, "I'm going to stick it with here because I like Dana and I want to, finish what I started." Right. So he stayed with Nebraska for pretty much pennies. Right. That's the bottom of the market. $300,000 is nothing. So that's a great example. But the second example of how little we value the running back position is last offseason, last recruiting class, we had an opportunity to take a borderline 5-star running back that you might remember, who I was actually a big fan of, by the name of Brian Bonner, who was coming out of Los Angeles, California. And he was a stud, man. I mean, he was a 4-star, but he could very well have got to a 5-star. And he wanted to come to Nebraska. He was down to us, UCLA, Washington, Penn State, but he wanted to come to Nebraska. We had an opportunity to take a borderline 5-star running back by the name of Brian Bonner, or a 3-star running back by the name of Jamal Rule. And we like Jamal Rule, but we said, you know what, Brian Bonner, we're going to take Jamal Rule instead. That's what we did, right? Brian wanted to come here, but we took Jamal Rule instead of him. Why? Because we were going through the pros and cons. We said, well, we like Brian Bonner. We think maybe he's a little better. We are not going to pay Brian Bonner 3 times more. We're going to pay Jamal Rule pretty much nothing. Like Jamal Rule is getting paid pretty much nothing to come here because we didn't really beat out some big time schools for him, rather than bringing Brian Bonner, who we'd have to pay. That was a huge mistake because although Jamal Rule could be a very good player for Nebraska, Brian Bonner is already at Washington and he's going to start from it. He could very well play against us next year when he comes to Lincoln. So that's a great example of how very little we value the running back spot, and it's relevant today because we have a really good running back commit by the name of Amir Brown in the class 27 as a 4-star. And now Alabama's getting involved, and you're about to see Georgia get involved, and you're about to see maybe Oregon get involved. And if those schools start throwing around money, I have no confidence in Nebraska to match those. And in that case, he's going to flip. So what running back are we going to get a value ever then? If we can't pay high school recruits, or we can't pay transfer players, like it's going to be very, very tough to keep guys here and to even get guys in the first place. And running back's one of the only positions where I say you need 5 stars, you need 4 stars, because the reason why players are listed at 4-star is because of their natural gift, their speed, their size, their explosiveness, the things you can't teach. Very rarely are you going to find hidden gem running backs. That's rare, right? the best running backs typically are the ones who are 5 stars. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is, right? You can develop a 3-star lineman to be an All-American. It's a lot tougher to do that with running back. You know what I mean? Because you can't develop a running back to be a slow, truck, kind of guy to be, a speedster. That doesn't really happen, right? So, anyways, that's my rant about the running back spot. I am concerned about it. We talked about Nyziah. It's unacceptable what they did. And again, they get offended every time everybody asks about it. Like, again, it is objectively the worst running back room in power football and power 4 football. And I'm of the belief that Mekhi Nelson is going to be good here. I'm of the belief Jamal Rule could be good here. I'm of the belief that Isaiah Mozee in his rightful role could be solid. It's just the principle that matter. You can't go into next year with that much unproven talent. And they said the other day, and I didn't even bring this up in the video, they said, well, it was a numbers game. If we brought in a transfer, we'd have somebody leave. Okay, like, who cares if Quinn Ives leaves the program? If Quinn Ives left the program, I would not bat an eye. And even if, like, a Mekhi Nelson, for example, let me ask you right now, if you had an opportunity to bring in Mekhi Frazier, who is the running back in Michigan State, who rumored to land, but you'd lose Mekhi Nelson, would you do it? Would you do it? I would do that in a second. Not because I don't like Mekhi Nelson, but because I like Mekhi Frazier that much. If we had an opportunity to bring in Trey Weiser from Texas, who we were rumored to go after, would you take him if you knew Mekhi Nelson would leave? I would do that. So with Matt Rule saying, well, we were going to lose somebody, it doesn't matter. That's the sport. You shouldn't be scared to take a running back transfer because you're scared somebody's going to leave. That's what the worst coaches do. That's what Scott Frost did because he was worried players were going to leave, so he didn't address things the right way. Anyways, I can talk about the running back spot all day, man. It's not going to be a strength of this team. It's going to be a huge concern, and it's going to be that way up until we see the team play against Ohio, first game of the year. So it is what it is. What are the percentages that we make a bowl game? I think it's high. I mean, 75%, 80%. I don't think it's that low. I don't think it's that low. Real deal WD, do you have a prediction for the USA-Canada gold medal game? I'm not gonna lie, I thought they already played. I thought I saw somewhere Canada got like the silver medal. They play tomorrow then, I guess. Well, United States beat them last time, didn't they? I don't want to talk. I'm not gonna lie, Ross. I'm not gonna lie. Give me Canada though. give me Canada. I gotta be devil's advocate. Give me Canada. Sheesh. Ross going on about Chick-fil-A. Hey. I like going to Popeyes. Go to Popeyes instead. Yes. that was a funny video that Ross. That gave me a laugh though. Let's see. We should have got the tight end from Air Force. I agree with you, man. What are the odds on Mark Matthews? Not high. I mean, there are odds. Okay, what are the odds? Well, there are odds. Okay, there is a chance. What are the chances? It's not to get into that, but there is a chance, right? He's gonna come on an official visit. That means something. And you never know. Like if Nebraska's willing to spend money, I could see anything happen, right? But I don't know if they're really willing to pay Mark Matthews $2 million. I mean, I'm not even going to BS you. Mark Matthews will cost $2 million annually. He will. Okay. Is Nebraska willing to spend that on a freshman tackle? I don't know. But you know what I do know? I know that Miami is willing to do that. I know Texas is willing to do that. And that's my concern there, because tackle is a big money spot. What are your thoughts on Bama offering Amir Brown? I like it because it means we got a good running back. But yeah, it's obviously it's nerve-wracking a little bit, right? And I think at this point, with him visiting Alabama, it's something that we need to keep an eye on, right? But hopefully, again, we incentivize him not only from a money standpoint, but from a playing time standpoint. Because Amir Brown's one of those running backs where he could be a day one contributor, right? He's not really going to be that way at Alabama. So hopefully that's what we can incentivize him for. Should Nebraska keep Rule no matter what if the 28 class is as close to good as the 27, even if Rule and the coaching staff don't improve? I mean, Rule is going to be for the next 2 years anyways. I think, again, if we fall off a cliff next year on 27, yes, Rule will be fine. It doesn't matter about recruiting. But it does recruiting class, not recruiting class, he's going to be here for at least one more year after this one. Just because the buyout's so crazy as we talked about. I don't see where we pay that buyout. I don't know where we find that money. Again, if we fire him next year, it would be I believe the third biggest spot of all time. Like we're not doing that, right? So Matt knows he's secure. That's why you're kind of seeing what you're seeing. He's here for the long haul. But to your recruiting points, um, I don't love it when people bring up recruiting to justify keeping coaches around. This is a comment I get all the time. They say, "Well, Matt Rule's going to have a great class. That means we need to keep Matt Rule forever." No, like recruiting does not matter. Okay, wins matter. It is very, very easy at the University of Nebraska to recruit. Okay, if Matt Rule gets fired tomorrow and we bring in a new coach, that coach is going to recruit just as good as Matt Rule. Okay, I mean that's just the bottom line. It's not hard to recruit in Nebraska. Okay, do you think that Alabama cares if Kaelin DeBoer's bringing in 5 stars? No, they do not care. He needs to win. Do you think USC fans care that Lincoln Riley's bringing 5 stars? No, they do not care. It's all about winning. So we're not going to change the goalpost for Matt Rule. It's not like he's doing the impossible right now. I mean, he's doing a good job, but again, recruiting is not hard at Nebraska, especially in modern day, right? It was harder 5 years ago when Scott Frost here, no NIL. It's even easier now with our NIL. So again, that's just the way it is, right? But I'm not going to go and say, "Oh, we got to keep him because of recruiting purposes." Like, it's not. That's not the hardest thing in the world. Do you think we'll be top 3, Wilson? I don't know what you mean by that, man. I don't know what you mean by that. You got to have a good depth at the running back room in the Big Ten, and that's a great point, Isaac. Like again, we don't even have depth at running back. That's my issue. Like you can feel whatever way you want about Mekhi Nelson. That's cool, but how comfortable are you with Quinn Ives? How comfortable are you with Isaiah Mozee? How comfortable are you with a Jamal Rule, like a Connor Booth? Like it's bad, right? Those guys have barely played in their entire careers. And I want to make this very clear. They haven't played for a reason, right? I think there's a misconception that the reason they haven't played is because Emmett Johnson's a heater. Like, no, if Mekhi Nelson was good last year, he would have played. But clearly they did not trust him. And again, we have to go back to when Mekhi actually got on the field. Mekhi was not good when he played during last year. He was only good in the bowl game. Okay. And to say he was good in the bowl game is also kind of a stretch. Like he was good with like 3 plays, you know. Isaiah Mozee was actually the better running back last season when you compare him and Nelson, but Mozee got less run in the bowl game. That's why the Nelson hype is really going through the roof. By the way, I told you guys at the time, the bowl game was very important for a million reasons. Because again, it's the last thing people remember. Like again, if TJ went out there and led to a victory against Utah, everybody will want TJ to be quarterback 1. Like again, that bowl game was so important for everything. And people didn't believe me. People said, "Well, the bowl game doesn't matter." Now the bowl game, you see what happened in that bowl game, the implications and how that changed things. But yeah, the depth's certainly a huge question mark. Right? It's a good point, Isaac. We don't got what Iowa got. Iowa got depth there with Kamari and with LJ, man. What are the odds we land Kashawn Bowman and Ahmad Hudson? Kashawn Bowman's will be tough. Like that'll be a money one. And we're late in this recruitment. Ahmad, I still think it's about 40-50%. I'm obviously still worried about LSU. I don't think it'll be Texas A&M. I don't think it'll be Bama. But LSU will have a say. LSU will have a say. So. Uh-oh. Jackson. Hold on. First off. Thank you, my man Jax, for the super chat. If you guys want to comment instantly, put a super chat. He says, "Rip Rondale Moore." You're not trolling me, are you? We're the same. Hold on, let me look this up. You're not. Please tell me you're not telling the truth. Oh my gosh. What? Former Purdue wide receiver who was a stud in college. Former Purdue wide receiver Rondale Moore has passed away. Wow. That is. Do we know how? Oh my gosh. How did he pass away, man? Wow. How did he pass? That's awful, dude. Do it. Oh my gosh, that's awful. R.I.P. Rondale Moore, man. That dude was unbelievable. I mean, he was unbelievable. That's awful. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, man. Oh my goodness, man. Because I remember, yeah, I mean, he played Nebraska what was that? Put up 90 a 90 piece on her head. He played I don't remember. He plays 2020. Yeah, he was a dog both times, man. That dude was special. I don't know how he passed away. I'm praying for his family. We've seen a lot of passings recently, man. We've seen a lot of passing recently. Um, 3 days ago, my favorite musical artist passed away. That hit me, and then Rondell Moore. I mean, that is just awful. 25 years old. That's crazy. That is absolutely terrible. Oh no, man. It was self-inflicted. 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 I can't. That is awful. That's awful, man. That's awful. That is awful. That is awful. Prayers to his family. That's awful, man. I can't. I got no words. Um, that's unbelievable. I'll tell you about this. I'll tell you. We've had this conversation before on the channel. Like I told y'all. I remember I had this conversation with you guys a couple months ago. Mental health is 100%. It's 100% real, 100% real, especially with men. I mean, because men don't want to talk about it, right? I mean, you never know what people are dealing with, and money doesn't solve anything. Money doesn't solve anything. It's all about relationships. It's all about connection with God and stuff along those lines. It's just, I mean, mental health is 100% real. You got to reach out, people. It's just, and that's what I try to do on the channel. I try to be an outlet for people. You know what I mean? I try to be an outlet. So, hey, I don't know what you guys are dealing with in your job, in your personal life, in school, with your friends, your girlfriend, your wife. I don't know, but I try to be an outlet so you guys can focus on something different, something that we all love. That's devastating, man. That's devastating because I was somebody who, I mean, very, very familiar with the Nebraska community and there around down more. So I hate to see stuff like that. I hate to see stuff like that. I saw that twice this week, man. Gosh, man. Dude was a stud, man. Dude was so special. Dude was so talented. You never know. You never know, man. I think there's a yeah. I just think there's a misconception. This is something I deal with. To be vulnerable with you guys here, real quick. I'll be vulnerable with you guys. I think there's a misconception, at least in my life, that money's everything. Money's nothing. I mean, it really isn't. Like, I mean, that's what I think right now, especially with young men, the focus is money, money, money. I got to get money. I got to get money for my family. So you think a guy like Rondell Moore, he'd be secure. You think a guy like Rondell Moore, who's an NFL player, oh, he got money, he'll be fine. Money doesn't matter. It doesn't, right? And that's why you talk to older people, you talk to your grandparents. They say money does not matter, right? As long as you got enough to put a roof over your head for food, right? You're good. Okay, but it's about the relationships, right? It's about your friends. It's about having a faithful wife. It's about having great kids, right? It's about having purpose in your life. That's important. Having purpose in your life, right? Being somebody for others. Um, you know, being deeper than just yourself. That's what makes life worth living. So you never know what somebody is dealing with. You always want to be somebody where, and this is why I preach to you guys, be there for other people, right? Don't hesitate to be the first one to reach out. Don't hesitate to, have a smile on your face. Don't go through life pessimistic all the time, whether it's about anything, because again, that's not only going to reflect on yourself, but that you might not know the person who you might brighten their day. You might brighten their day by just saying hi, right? So it's something that is very, very close to my heart. You know what I mean? Because that's awful, right? That's awful. That's awful. That's awful, man. It's awful, bro. RP Rondell Moore. RP, man. RP, man. Yeah, it's terrible, dude. All right. Back to the show, though. Back to the show. Show must go on. Show must go on. We got Nebraska to talk about. Show must go on. RP Rondell Moore. Thank you. Thank you for Jackson for letting me know that, man. Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate my guy. Appreciate you. All right, let's get back to it. Respect for Bill Moose after his book came out. Maybe someday the adults will soon be in charge. 100%. 100%. Again, I respect Bill Moose for doing that. I do think I wish Bill Moose had the stones to say that at the time, though. I wish he had the stones to stand up at the time. Like, it's, oh, great, you told us about 5 years later. Like, we can't do anything about it now. But yeah, I mean, it really posed a light to what's actually wrong with this university, right? It's corrupted from the very beginning when it comes to the Board of Regents, when it comes to the governor, when it comes to the president, right? And a lot of the things that Bill Moose expressed in the book, they're still happening today with different people, right? With different opponents, right? But I do appreciate him for saying that. I don't know if things will change anytime soon, but just know, like, you want to know why Nebraska doesn't find success in a lot of aspects. It's because it's a deeper thing, right? It's not just the head coach, right? It's deeper than that, right? It's systemic. So we should still get a running back in the portal. We might, man. We might. You never know. And we'll talk about that. I'll have like, I kind of want to talk transfer portal, get him funny enough. So I might have a portal video this week. We just might take another look at it, right? We just might take another look at it because Matt Rule said the other day, that we still have room on the roster. So I'm just saying, if he said we still have room on the roster, I'm holding out hope. Give me another running back, my guy. Give me another running back. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He said I sent it on your Facebook Messenger. I'll check it out. Hopefully you sent my right account. I'm not on Facebook like that, but I'll log in and check it out. I'll get back to you. Appreciate you, my guy. What's the in-state talent like in the class of 28 and the class of 29? It's, I don't know about 29 much, to be honest with you. 20 class 28 is not bad. I mean, you got Micah Santiago, who will be a 4-star defensive lineman out of West Side. You have Micah Benning, who's going to be probably 3-star DB, who's playing for West Side too. He's the son of Damon Benning. So there's a couple dudes in the state, but it's not phenomenal. I don't know. At times I feel like the in-state talent's getting better, and at times I feel like the in-state talent's getting worse. Like, it's tough. It's tough. The basketball talent's getting worse. I'll tell you that, though. Wilson, do you think we'll have another wide receiver bust year? That's tough to say, man. I mean, if history tells us anything, then probably. If history tells us anything, then I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. But I don't want to go through that. You know what I mean? I don't want to think that. I'd prefer to at least get a little optimistic about it. I feel like get a little optimistic about it, man. Do you think Nebraska basketball land a 5-star? They're going after a couple. They're going after that French guy. I like that French guy. I forgot his name. We talked about on the channel the other day. Who was his name? He's solid. 6'8", man. Can shoot from the arc, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah. When is the next recruiting video? I mean, I don't know. We'll probably I try doing like at least once a week, because I'll do my news shows. We'll talk a little bit about recruiting, but we'll do dedicated recruiting videos. Again, I'll probably have one like, I don't know, maybe Saturday. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna post Saturday. I want Saturday to be a good video because that's my birthday. So I'm trying to think about what I'll do there. On March 28th, 2026, you could turn on channel 80 and see the spring game. You're going to see violence on offense and defense because the Google AI says it all. I'm serious you'll see it. Surprise to WD. Go Big Red. Now, I hope that spring game gives us some optimism. That'd be great, man. I think it will. I'm excited to bring the spring game back. I don't know what you're talking about. Violence and Google AI says it all. I don't know what you're talking about there, but yeah. No, we'll cover the spring game on the channel. I'm probably not going to go to the spring game, to be honest with you. I'm just, because I went to the Husker games last year. The Husker games last year was a complete joke. I mean, the Husker games last year, because I was not going to go to the Husker games, but basically what happened, I went live like a couple days before the Husker games, and y'all convinced me. You're like, well, you're the YouTuber, Wilson, you got to show up. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I go over to Lincoln. It was a joke. I just went there to watch like Lateef and watch Marcus DeVille at the time, but man, it was... Ooh, so I'm glad they're bringing out the spring game, and I'm glad it's televised as well, so the fans can watch it. And for me to have something to talk about, for crying out loud, man. That's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited about. My man Rashawn Nelson says, so why you talk crazy about players on here if you really about that? And if y'all know Rashawn, this Mekhi's dad, this Buddha's dad. Come on, Rashawn. We've had this conversation before. You know what I mean? Again, and I've already made it clear my take on the players. Right? I'm not talking crazy about players. What do you quantify as talking crazy about players? Saying I'm concerned about players, not talking crazy about player. You know what I mean? Again, I'll say it right now. I am concerned about your son. 100% I am. Like, of course I am. He has he has less than 30 career carries. I'm concerned about him. I don't know if he'll be a top 10 running back in the conference. I'm just keep it honest with you. I've obviously got talent, but I'm concerned about him. Certainly I am. You know what I mean? I try to keep it fair, but I keep it objective, right? And I understand these kids are professional athletes, right? They're getting paid. You know what I mean? They're getting paid. So the same way I'm getting paid to do YouTube, and y'all come in my comment section saying, Wilson, you don't know what you're talking about, disrespecting me. These same college athletes, I'll say, hey, I don't know if these college athletes as good as, they are, right? Like, that's just what it is. I'll be fair, but I'll be tough, right? I'm not going to be like, there's some YouTubers who will say every single player is an All-American, every single player is a D1, superstar. Like, that's just not me. Some players are good, some players are bad. That's just the way it is. That's the sport. These kids are getting paid nowadays. They're my age. And by the way, I talk to all these players anyways. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like these players don't like me. These players love me. I talk with all of them, right? Like, I talk with the quarterbacks. I talk with the DBs. I talk specifically a lot with the receivers. So again, I'm never unfair to the players. Like, that's not correct. And I know you feel some sort of way. And again, I hear it all the time from the parents because they're like, Wilson, you need to hype up my son more. It's like, again, I got plenty of parents who watch my stuff, right? And a lot of the parents, a lot of them are respectful, and some are like, well, Wilson, like, I know how it is, right? I'll get a text from a dad who's his son's second string defensive lineman. He'll be like, Wilson, you gotta hype up my player more, right? Or my son more. He's gonna play. Like, well, you're the dad. You're supposed to have confidence in your son. I'm just trying to keep it as objective as possible. You feel me? That's always been my take on the channel. You know what I mean? And again, but I keep it respectful. But I also say, hey, if I'm concerned about a player, I'll tell you I'm concerned about a player. That's just the way it is, right? It's not taboo anymore to say that, right? So that's just my take. There's been no disrespect, but I know you feel that way because, again, I'm concerned about the running back room. That's cool. I understand it. Never mind, Mises. Wilson, you're 100% correct. Money is everything. 100%. 100%, my man. Again, that's how I realize. My hot take: Dexter Foster will start over Vince Shavers. I could very well see that. I mean, Dexter Foster's legit. He's a legit talent. My main thing is how healthy is he really? Because he's playing spring ball, but how healthy is he really? Right. But I do like Dexter Foster. And Vince Shavers, he was all right last year, but he didn't take the jump forward we thought he was going to. So yeah, I think, but it's a heck of a quarterback. Excuse me, heck of a linebacker battle. I'll just say that. Heck of a linebacker battle. Heck of a linebacker battle. But I think the linebacker room's solid. It really is. Really solid. The problem is we don't get up on people, so the second, third, and fourth string running backs in the milk carton, and we just see one back. Well, we'll see more backs this year. You know what I mean? Most of the reason why we only saw Emma is because Emma was solid. But again, yeah, I agree. Like, we will see a heavy rotation within the first 3 games. 100%. 100%. Hello, here from Indiana, but any news from the offensive line with any breakout players? Again, which just started today, my guy. Just started today. But again, the main thing we're looking at is the left guard battle. Okay, Rashawn. What's up, my guy? He says, I don't need to hype anything up that isn't true. I don't need you to lie. Let's see. You've given out false information multiple times. That's not the case, Rashawn. And we've had this conversation before, Rashawn. We've had this conversation, my guy. You said Wilson. Because I stayed the other day, I was like, Mekhi got injured his freshman year. You're like, Wilson, I don't know where you got that from. I said, Rashawn, Mr. Nelson, Matt Rule himself said that Mekhi Nelson got injured his freshman year. So don't come at me. That's what Matt Rule's saying, right? So I'm going to take what Matt Rule says to heart. If he's saying Mekhi's injured, then I'm going to purport that Mekhi's injured. You know what I mean? That obviously that was his freshman year. He's not injured right now. So again, I know you feel some sort of way, but again, we keep respect. And again, you're not the person who should be coming at me because I made it abundantly clear since your son committed to Nebraska, I like Mekhi Nelson. I remember, and I can pull this up for you, Marshawn. Actually, I will pull this up for you, Rashawn. I'll pull this up for you. I'll take my time here real quick. I remember, and I don't know if you watch my channel back here. I'll take my time with you. I made a video back when Mekhi Nelson ended up committing to Nebraska. This was 2 years ago. Okay, I was hyping this kid up. I was hyping this kid up, man. I was, and I said, hey, this could be a really good player for Nebraska. Look at the comment section, man. Look at the comment section. There are some people who are like, look at this. I'm not too jazzed about adding another running back. Why do we need another running back? Why am I not enthused? I got nothing. So I've been hyping up your son for 2 years now, my guy. Do not come at me for that kind of stuff. That's crazy. Again, that's crazy, my guy. That's crazy. Again, I love you, I love you, Rashawn. And you know it's all love. You know it's all love. But dude, I deal with parents all the time. I understand how parents feel. But just know I will always keep things objective. But I've been hyping up your son for 2 years. There are people who didn't even know your son's name until months ago. So don't come at somebody who's educated for making an educated take. But that's it. I mean, you can continue to put stuff in the comment section. That's cool. We're cool. We're on the same page. But don't spread stuff like that, man. I love you though, Rashawn. I love you. You my guy. You my guy. It's all love. You love, all love. Yeah. It's all love, Rashawn. It's all love. I love you, bro. And again, I'm gonna continue to hype up your son. I've been saying this live stream, your son gonna be running back 1. And I believe that in my heart. I'm not just saying that. You know what I mean? So anyways, appreciate it, my guy, Mr. Nelson. That's Mr. Nelson. All right, back to the comment section. Jackson, my guy, Jackson, good to hear from you again. Thank you for the super chat. He was one commenter instantly put in the super chat. My man, Jackson, he says, sorry for another update. Yep. He, self-inflicted. Just, it's awful, man. Again, there's just, as we talked about, again, mental health is 100% real with anybody. And you think people are not struggling, but they are, especially with men, because men do not want to talk about the type of stuff. So again, I'm praying for his family. But somebody shouldn't, I mean, I don't know if he had kids. Let me look this up yet. I don't even know if I want to know, man. Did he have kids? Okay. I don't know if he had kids. That's at least, hopefully he did not have kids, because that would have been really sad if he left kids here without a father. But that's something I'm very passionate about, is having a strong father in the household. That'd have been sad. But yeah, that's a terrible situation. And prayers up to his entire family with Rondale Moore. Prayers up to his entire family. All right, let's get back in here. Hold on, I was trying to find a funny comment. Y'all keep putting stuff in here. Again, we haven't heard from you guys in a minute. We got to talk more about spring ball. We got to talk about recruiting. We got to talk about basketball. Whatever you guys want to talk about. Because again, I don't know next time I'm going to go live. So leave nothing in the cupboard. I don't know when I'm going to go live next. It might be in a month, might be in 2 months. So we got stuff to talk about before we get out of here, man. And we got a long way to go. Hear me out. Runs the alternates. Come on, bro. Runs the alternates. No. Wilson, what do you think about Dylan Rod going to Oregon and Emmett to the NFL? Yeah, I mean, Dylan to Oregon. I mean, it'll be very weird having him redshirt. That's the weird thing. We might see a completely different Dylan Rod in 2027. I'm honestly shocked that he wanted to go through that. I'm shocked that he willingly went to Oregon knowing that he'd have to redshirt. Like, he could have went anywhere else and probably started. So that was shocking to me. He could have went to probably Miami and started. But I'm sure there was other things going on behind the scenes there with Oregon. But again, I appreciate it. Looks like he's had some character development. As for Emmett, I hope Emmett's a second rounder, man. I hope Emmett's a second rounder. I hope Emmett's a second rounder. I've been hearing Vikings and Chiefs. Vikings and Chiefs. Do you see Victor Evans getting a start? Seems like a solid depth piece. I would hope he's in the mix. And again, if it really depends if we move Donovan Jones to nickel. If we move Donnie to nickel, yeah, it opens up corner. But again, my take is I just think Danny Holmes is the best DB on the roster. And in that case, if Danny's the best DB, Danny will start over Victor. But Victor's a solid. I like Victor a lot. He was solid in man coverage, obviously ball hawk for FIU. Again, we have a very competitive secondary. And if there's any positional coach I trust to bring the best out of these guys, it's Addison, right? It's Addison Williams, right? So feeling really good about secondary. But again, Victor Evans, we'll see. If he could play safety, I could see a lot more. But I don't think he can. What's your favorite Nebraska alternate unis? I mean, come on. You already let's pull it up. Guess what they are. Guess what the best ones are. I'll give you a hint. They've happened in the last 15 years. Guess what the best ones are. Hold on, where is it? Here we go. Oh wait, no. Wait. Is this it? No, this is not it. What year do we wear these uniforms? Oh, here it is. Yeah, somebody already guessed it. White chrome. Come on. Dude. These were... Come on. If we brought back the white face mask like the other guy wanted, this would be the only one where I'd be a fan of it. I'd be a fan of it if we brought these. These were cool. Okay, I didn't like the end here on the pants were kind of weird, but other than that, it was pretty cool. But I mean, I didn't mind the black ones from last year. I certainly thought the blacks were better than the blacks we wore, the one I'm wearing right now. But I still feel like they can make some tweaks. Like I want a black helmet. If you're gonna have a black out, you might as well go all in with the black. I have a black helmet in there, my guy. But I liked it. I liked us changing it up a little bit. What do you think about Dayton? He'll never play a snap for Oregon. Again, I think Dayton ruined his career. You know, it's sad. He got bad advice. He got profound bad advice by likely his father to go and follow the Dylan Riley train over Oregon. Again, Dayton could have went to an FCS level. He could have started potentially and could have worked his way up. Instead, he will now be a 6'1" tight end. When have you ever heard a 6'1" tight end playing, let alone for the Oregon Ducks? He will never play a snap. So again, he ruined his career. He doesn't realize it now, but he'll realize in a year or two, and he'll transfer and try to reconcile it, but it'll already be too late. You know, so it's really unfortunate. Yeah, really sad there with him. My man Jimmy, he says, "Are we the favorite with JuJu Johnson now?" It's very tough to say. I mean, I'd say it's a 3-horse race, and all the horses are, you know, neck and neck. I mean, Oklahoma's the favorite. Then now with Oklahoma having a new DB coach, kind of levels it up with Nebraska. But yeah, it's Nebraska, Oklahoma, Miami. I'd say it's Oklahoma, Nebraska, Miami, kind of in third place here. But I'd say Oklahoma's probably still the favorite because again, he wanted to commit to Oklahoma before their DB coach left. So again, that'll be a process to follow though. Again, he probably will commit around June, and I like that we get the first visit outside of Oklahoma. We get in touch with them before then. And then also thoughts on the Duke Michigan game. Yeah, that's actually why I delayed the live stream. I was watching the Duke Michigan game, funny enough. Again, it was competitive, man. It was competitive. I honestly, I still came away from it thinking Michigan's the better team. Am I crazy? I came away from it thinking Michigan's the better team. But it was a good game. Well, hold on, what's the Illinois score right now? Because Illinois, I thought they were gonna blow out UCLA. It was actually close. Woo! Hold on, folks. Look at this. First off, 2 interesting games for Nebraska here. Illinois, UCLA, and then Gonzaga struggling against Pacific. Hold on, I'm gonna change my I got my TV playing over here. I gotta change the channel here real quick. I got keeping tabs here with this Illinois game because if Illinois loses, that's huge for Nebraska. If Illinois loses, that props us up to be probably the 9th best team in America. Again, we aren't currently the 9th best team, but we probably aren't going to move down the rankings in that case. If Gonzaga loses, that helps us even more. And if Iowa State loses, yeah, it's interesting. A lot of interesting games today in college basketball. What are the big games tomorrow? Are there interesting ones tomorrow? I mean, nothing for our sake. I mean, Michigan State has like some very small Nebraska implications, but actually, because we're tied with Michigan State right now in the seeding, so yeah, we kind of need them to lose at some point. But they still play Michigan, I think. So I'm not actually worried about Michigan State. Yeah, and they play Purdue. Yeah, but hopefully they lose tomorrow too. Good call there. Good call. As of right now, who do you think will be our starting corners? I think it'll be Marshall, Odom, and Donnie. I think they'll end up moving Donnie to nickel. Although he's playing boundary now, again, Addison will probably move him inside. So at some point they'll move him in. But I think it'll be those 3. Danny's just one of those guys where you cannot keep him off the field. You can't. You won't be able to. It'll be very, very tough. Colin Rice, Nebraska sign, he's a stud. For Penn State, he didn't do anything for Penn State. Colin, I thought you meant Eli Rice. I was like, what? No, Colin Rice is good. Yeah, the 4-star. Yeah, I was like, what? Eli Rice. Name a random Husker football player that didn't get enough love credit for what they did on the football field. Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. I mean, I can't obviously go in the 90s, right? Because I was born 2006. So I was born in 06. So again, my earliest memories of Nebraska football back in like 010. So the ones who didn't get enough love. Yeah, let's see. Let's go down line. Amani Cross, Terrell Newby. Who was our running back for like 3 games in 2017 who was phenomenal, and then I think his entire career got he basically retired from football. Who was that? Hold on. Was it Dave? I'm thinking, who was that? Let me just pull it up real quick. Oh, Trey Bryant. Trey Bryant not get enough love. Alonzo Mourning did not get enough love. Quincy Enunwa did not get enough love at the time. Sethan Carr did not get enough love. Travis Volkolek did not get enough love. Gerald Farmer didn't get enough, or Gerald Farmer Foster, whichever that one. Gosh, it's been a while, man. Did not get enough love. Let's see. Who else did not get enough love? Aaron Williams did not get enough love. Sam Foltz did not get enough love at the time. Khalil, the Davis twins did not get enough love for what they did, playing on a pretty garbage team. Let's see. Recent memory, though. What's recent memory? He didn't get enough love. Recent memory. I think Marcus Washington didn't get enough love when he was here. Like, Marcus Washington was a dog. I mean, he really was. I mean, he was very consistent. When Trey Palmer wasn't playing well, who would step up in his absence? It would be Marcus Washington. He did not get enough love. Other than that, like, recent memory, there's not like a whole lot of names. Savion Morrison. Just kidding. Savion Morrison got too much love. Omar Manning got too much love. Omar Manning got way too much love, man. Omar Manning was supposed to be the greatest receiver of all time. That dude stunk, man. That dude stunk. Dude, Wyatt Lever, Brody Belt. Dude, we had some great walk-ons. Prince Wallman Meow didn't get enough love. I'll say that one for sure. Any others? Yeah, those are really the ones that come to mind. Will Dayton be the Rudy of tight end, man? That's funny. That's crazy. Lizard, my guy, welcome to the Skur Squad. We're gonna do some Skur Squad exclusive content this offseason. We're gonna do a lot more. We're gonna do a lot more exclusive content, so watch out for that. We'll do film reactions. We'll do kind of some random stuff in there. So again, we have basically 3 levels of being a Skur Squad member. One is $1 a month, like it's just super cheap. It's just get your foot in the door. Number 2 is the I think it's the elite member. You basically get some more perks in there. And then number 3 is the exclusive member. That's where you get like the more exclusive videos, right? We'll end up doing some exclusive live streams in there. So again, I never force people to to be a member. But again, just know, to the people who choose to support my channel that way, you'll get some exclusive content. So just watch out for that. But thank you for joining the squad, Lizard, my guy. Favorite Nebraska player of all time? Every time people ask me this, I say a different person. But I think probably Amir. I mean, Amir was special. I love Wandale. Let's see. Cam Taylor-Britt was pretty high on him. I liked Alonzo Moore, funny enough. Yeah, I was a big Sethan Carter guy too. Man, Jax, thank you for the super chat. He says, I was sure expecting to see more of O'Shawn Mathis from TCU. Yeah, I mean, that was the first like big NIL person we got. Like, we paid him like $400,000, which we thought was a lot of money at the time. But honestly, like, revisiting the whole experience, like, he wasn't like a game changer, but he wasn't like terrible. You know what I mean? He was by far the best guy we had out of last year. Or if we had him last year, he would have been our best pass rusher by far. So yeah, good point there, Jackson. Good point. Good point. Is there any 6'1" tight in the NFL? I don't think so, man. I don't think there's a single one. I like to see Rule look at the depth chart more. Not sure how he thought a sophomore Van Poppel's going to play seniors. I don't even know how Van Poppel even got like a single digit. That was crazy to me. I remember when he got a single digit, I was like, what? I was like, what? I was like, what? Van Poppel was single digit, man. Sheesh. Sheesh. Husker boy, I don't even know what you're talking about, man. I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest with you. I don't know who that is. I don't even know what you're talking about. The Big Ten tournament format goes top 4 by conference, then triple by, next 4 double by, next 4 single by. That's weird, dude. That's weird. Wait, but I thought all 18 made it though. That's only 16 teams, Cade. Yeah, I don't know. I think so. I think the bottom 4 play first day, and then 6 teams play day 2. I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's interesting. So we need to be a top 4 is what you're telling me. What's the standings here real quick? Let me pull it up. What are the Big Ten standings? Are we top 4 right now? I think we're tied with 4th. I think we're tied with 4th. Yeah, we're tied. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's why we need Michigan State to lose tomorrow. So we can get that bye. We're also tied with Purdue, though, but Purdue will lose one more because I think they play. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. That's tough. They could lose to Wisconsin. Ideally they lose one of these. They could lose to Ohio State too. I could see that. I could see that. What are you most excited about? I think we'll have a more well, let's see. I'm excited with an improved offensive line. So just something different at quarterback. I'm excited to see something different at quarterback with Colandrea. If TJ's the guy, I would love to see TJ. I'm excited for another year. That's what it is. There's not like a bunch of crazy stuff. I'm just excited to watch the team play. I think we'll surprise some people in some areas, and other areas will be disappointing. But it's just the way it is. What do you think Nebraska will need to do in the offseason to at least go 8-4? At least go 8-4 is a tough task, man. That's a tough task. Let's assume Colandrea is the guy. He has got to get rid of the turnovers. That's the number one thing. If he throws 9 interceptions next year, we will not win any games. That's number one. Number 2, defensive line needs to improve from a pass rush standpoint. Number 3, ideally, you have some semblance of a running game outside of Colandrea, right? Ideally, Mekhi Nelson's at least a 600-yard back, But again, the main thing for me is how can Matt Rhule develop himself as a X and O's head coach? How can he develop himself as a game player? How can he develop himself as, making adjustments? How can he do that? Well, I don't know. That's my main question, because it doesn't matter how good the team is. If Matt Rhule cannot evaluate talent, and if he cannot show up for big time games, it does not matter whatsoever. That's just the tough. That's just the tough reality, man. But I'm excited about next year. I want to make that clear. I'm pretty sure the Big Ten tourney is only 16. I think it's 18. No, because they said they were making every single team was getting in this year. Wasn't that the case? Sheesh. Yeah, Ross, good call. Illinois. Okay, we'll shift over to the Illinois game real quick here. I'll keep y'all posted. So there's a minute left in that ball game. Illinois versus UCLA. Some huge Nebraska implications. We need Illinois to lose. They're tied up with UCLA. So we'll kind of, I got it over here on my screen. We'll keep y'all posted. I'm watching over here. We'll also respond to comments at the same time. Wilson, I think Nebraska history, and I think you would be a great access to Nebraska football. Go Wilson. Lizard, I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for becoming a member. We should still get 1 or 2 edges in the portal. If the market drops, we very well could. But again, as Pat Stewart said the other day, it costs a lot of money. Costs a lot of money. Brett said the Vegas line will be 4.5. I think it'll be 6.5, Brett. I'm pretty confident in that. I'm pretty 4.5's crazy. 4.5, man. Come on, bro. Get your head out of here. Come on, man. That's awful. 4.5. All right. UCLA with the rock here. Under a minute left to go. My eyesight is not great with my contacts. I cannot see the numbers. I can only see what's going on. 3-point on the way. Bricked it. Oh, offensive board by UCLA. Did not touch the rim. Shot clock's not reset. Dunk. Oh, brick. But as there's a foul on the floor, UCLA is going to go line for the 2. Sheesh. I need to get new contacts, guys. I need to get new contacts. My prescription's all messed up. My prescription is all messed up. Did you guys see what Mick Cronin said the other day? Like after his, so basically, I can't remember who UCLA lost to, but they were, who'd they lose to? Who was it? They got blown out. Michigan State. Okay. And he was like having a temper tantrum on the sideline. He like kicked one of his players out of the game. Like literally, like there was a player who had a flagrant foul. And he literally said, "Get your butt into the locker room," kicked him out mid-game. And then at the end of the game, he was interviewed, and he was like, some reporter, it's like a young reporter. He asked Mick Cronin, he's like, "What do you think of the Michigan State student section?" And Mick Cronin says, "I don't give a rat's bleep about the Michigan State student section." And the reporter like said some like about Michigan State. And Mick Cronin's like, "Did you raise your voice at me?" "Yeah, yes, you did. It was on camera." Like, oh my gosh, Mick. Like, chill out, bro. Chill out. UCLA up 2. Illinois with the ball. I think it's Wagler. Gets it over the wing. 3-point on the way for the lead for Illinois. No good. Offensive board. Illinois gets another opportunity. 25 seconds. Shot clock's reset. There is an 8-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Wagler, he's walking inside. Throws up a lob. Fouled. I think fouled before the shot, but they're in the double bonus. So Illinois will go to the line for 2. Once again, heavy implications toward Nebraska in this game. We need Illinois to lose. Yeah, we need them to lose pretty badly. We need them to lose pretty badly. It would help us out tremendously. If Illinois would lose today, there is still an opportunity for Nebraska to be the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which would go a long way. Trust me when I tell you that. Yeah, that would be huge. Because if we're a 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, we could be a 2 seed in the NCAA. So we need Illinois to lose today. Oh man, Chris says, "I'm surprised you didn't get a running back in the portal." I am too. But to be honest with you, nothing surprises me anymore. Go green only for basketball, everything else Nebraska. Okay, that's crazy. I don't get people who do that. Like, you root for one team in one sport. Like, that doesn't, I just don't get how that works. That can't work for college. Like, the people who do that are like, "I'm a Nebraska football fan, but I'm a Duke basketball fan, but I'm a South Carolina baseball fan." It's like, what? You know what I mean? And then but those people don't root for that. Like, it's one thing if you root for like all 3 of those universities in every sport. It's another thing like cherry pick sports. Like, I don't get that. Like, I'll make it abundantly clear with y'all. I'm a J-Sker. I root for Nebraska, everything. I root for Creighton, everything. I root for Omaha Maverick, everything. I root for Concordia Bulldog, everything. Like, I root for any university inside the state of Nebraska, but I don't cherry pick. Like, some people like will say, "Well, I root for Nebraska football, and I root for Creighton basketball, and I root for Omaha baseball." Like, I'm not that way. I root for every sport of every university, and I root for Nebraska above all of them, clearly, but you know, that's just the way it is with me. But I don't get people who like cherry pick that, to be honest with you. By the way, Illinois made the first free throw, and they took a timeout, and now they'll go to the line for another one, I believe. Maddie says, "Quit touching your face. Very disruptive." I'll touch my face, man. Come on. What are we even talking about here? Cherry. That's quit touching your face. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Come on, Maddie. Who are the DNs in the new system? I don't see Cade Petchock and Cam Lenhard being true inside offensive tackles. I see them on the end. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like, I think Petchock could be a solid edge rusher. I don't think Lenhard's an edge rusher at all. I don't think I know he's not. He's not a 5 tech because he was barely athletic enough to be a 3 tech. How can he play 5 tech? So yeah, I mean that's a huge issue. But obviously Campbell's not big enough to be defensive tackle, as we know. But yeah, I mean the D ends in the system are Petchak, Winery, Anthony Jones, second free throw, Illinois got it. All tied up at 86. 20 seconds left to go. UCLA will get the last shot here in regulation. We'll see if it goes to overtime. I wish I could tell you who has the rock right now. Again, my contacts are bad from this angle here. 8 seconds left. UCLA has it at the top of the paint. Here, try and drive inside. Step back, 3-point on the way for the win. No good. We're going to overtime. We are going to overtime with some huge Nebraska implications on the way. So I was gonna stop the live stream when this game is over. So you guys got lucky. We'll get some more live streams in. We'll get more action in this live stream. We'll wait and react to the rest of this ball game. Yo, look, I might be representing my high school, Riverton Park, in football wrestling, but will also be a Cornhusker. Hey man, that's awesome. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome, man. Do you think Rule learned his lesson about having his podcast, or will he continue it? You tell me. You tell me. You tell me. No, yes, Rule will continue his podcast. 100%. 100% he will. 100%. But again, my thing around Rule, and I made this clear, is this. If he did the podcast in February, I would embrace it. I would love it. Because first off, it gives me something to talk about. But number two, it's not like there's a bunch of other stuff going on in February. Like, yes, practice is going on, but you know, if he made a podcast in January through July, I would embrace it and love it. The problem I have with Matt Rule is that when the busiest time of the year comes around, when you have to win football games, that's when he's doing all these extracurriculars. That's when he's going to Bud Crawford fights. That's when he's going podcasting. He's going to Pat McAfee. Why are you doing that in the middle of the freaking year? Do that in the offseason. You have plenty of time in the offseason. I don't get it. And it's funny to me how the season ended, and then he's like, okay, I'm done with my podcast for a while. Like, what? This is when your podcast should thrive in the offseason. Like, it's just, first off, it's terrible marketing. Like, he doesn't understand that. But if I was in charge of his podcast, I could make it viral. Like, I'm pretty sure there were some of his podcasts, like, you think with the head coach of Nebraska, his views would be off the chart. Like, I'm pretty sure some of his podcasts, like, my videos get a lot more than his. Not all of them, but some of them he did not get, like, views on there, which is crazy. Like, I know I get a lot of views, but that's just, I mean, you're the head coach of Nebraska, my guy. Let's see, what was his thing? It's called Rule, whatever. I'm gonna pull it up here. House Rules. Yeah, I got more subs than them. See, get his last one. Okay, he got a lot of views at the end there. Yeah, he got a lot of views at the end. I think people started watching at the end. Yeah, because there were some that like flopped, and then apparently now they got a bunch of views. He was botting views. No, I'm just kidding. He was kidding. There's some channels that do that. I do not bot views, but some people do that. Sheesh, this last one got. Okay, he actually might have botted the views though, because the way I can tell people bot views is based on their comments to view ratio. Okay, he has 60,000 views on his last podcast, but only has 400 likes. Huh? Like, for example, I'll get a video that has 8,000 views now, 400 likes. So that's interesting. And then he only has 83 comments. I get 83 comments on like a video with like 3,000 views. So this might have actually been botted. You never know, man. That's kind of crazy. If our head coach is botting views, that's it's interesting. Oh, hold on. My favorite YouTuber's live. What's going on with him? Oh, hold on, guys. This guy's live. I gave him a nice comment. All right. we have fun over here. I don't even know if that comment went through. Wilson, I think Nebraska is going to this year. I think it's going to be a happy time going to Nebraska. I hope so, Lizard. I don't know what you meant by that. I hope so. I hope you're right. Doc, what up, Doc? He says, what up, Doc? What up, Doc? He says, we will never have a preeminent team until we get a coach that's dedicated to winning above all else. Rule has too many distractions. Yeah, I mean, I think you can juggle multiple things at once. Like Lane Kiffin juggles a million things at once, right? But yeah, I agree with Matt Rule. Some could do it, some can't. Matt Rule can, and Matt Rule is too focused on things that really don't matter. Again, the reason why he said multiple times that the podcast will help out with recruiting. The podcast does not help out with recruiting. It just does. Like, the recruits are not watching the Matt Rule podcast. Okay. They're not watching Matt Rule interview two musicians from Nebraska who are talking about runs. Like, this is what Matt Rule does. He goes on his podcast, he interviews like some random guy, and they talk about fast food. Like, oh, what's your favorite burger? Like, bro, Matt Rule, you're giving him the stereotypes, my guy. Do not talk about fast food burgers, please. I know you like food. You made that clear, dude. But come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, at least talk a little bit about football. A little bit, man. Come on. You're a football coach. So, favorite football player currently on the team? Larry Tarver, the GOAT. Come on. Easy answer. Larry Tarver, the legend. Founder of the Tarver tribe. Do you think it will be Ohio State? No. What are the chances Nebraska basketball makes the Elite Eights? Low. I think it's possible we could. I think it's very possible we could make the Sweet 16, but once we get to the Sweet 16, I don't know if we get farther, right? Because at that point, let's assume we're a 3 seed, we'll end up playing a 2 seed. I don't know if we can knock off a 2, right? That's tough. That'll be tough, right? Again, that's assuming obviously things could have planned in the way it goes, but still, I Elite Eight's tough. Wilson's the GOAT. I was waiting for him to drop every morning. I listen during Spanish lectures. That's legendary, Kaelin. That's legendary. That's legendary. That's legendary. Hold on, watch this UCLA game. We're in overtime now. Yeah, I don't know. Like, to be honest with you guys, like with the schedule update, like we'll continue to get daily content all year long. I'm honestly, I'm impressed that I'm continuing to do like daily or like 2 videos a day, like, because there's not a lot of news, but we're still finding some news here and there. But just know, like, once we get to like the thick of the offseason, it's gonna be kind of tough for me to do 2 videos a day. Because again, you guys know me, like, I have my main video at 9, and then I have my kind of my news video at 3. But I just don't know if the news, like, we didn't do a news video today, so I did the live stream instead. But it'll be tough to do like 2 videos a day because it's just there's not as much going on, especially when we get to the summer, you know. Like July will be weird. July's always a tough month too, because it's like that's when people are really get excited. That's when my views like really start to skyrocket. But at the same time, it's like there's not much to talk about. You know what I mean? It's just such interesting. I've compared Rule to a Brooklyn used car dealership. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Which transfer portal commits will be a day 1 starter? Which will barely show up or be horrid? Oh, which will be a day 1 starter will barely show up. Like, what do you want me to? I don't know. Like, I mean, it's probably gonna be one. I mean, like the one I am concerned about is, well, I'm concerned about Mbenga. If Mbenga starts, I'm very concerned about him, and I'm concerned about Tree Babalade. So those are 2, and I'd say, I mean, I think others are pretty secure. I'm not really worried about the others. Maybe Owen Studemeyer. Like, Owen Studemeyer was kind of a weird. Like, I'm not crazy about Owen Studemeyer, to be honest with you. Legendary. I don't condone like not paying attention in class, but to be honest with you guys, I'm in college and I did not pay attention in class either, to be honest with you. And I'm doing perfectly fine. So so if you're watching my videos, that's actually a good thing. You're probably learning more watching my videos than anything you can learn in science class. I hated science class in high school. I think Kwazi Gilmer is the best receiver on the team. Yeah, I think he could be too, man. I think we got 3 really talented receivers. That's it's just a good problem to have. Yeah, and Quinn Clark could be solid. I love the depth too with Bonner, with Bell, assuming Bell's healthy at some point, which is a risk. Wagler deep ball, Brick. 1 minute left to go here in overtime between UCLA, and we need UCLA to win, man. We need it. I need it like I need to breathe. I need it like I need to breathe, man. Middle left, UCLA driving inside of the rack. No good. Rebound, Illinois. Illinois takes the other way. They're up 1 point. Wagler with the rock. Cross it across the midline. There will be a timeout by Illinois with 59 seconds left. Live stream again on the 28th. Nah, then again, the reason why I was saying, like, don't leave any meat on the bone tonight, because again, I don't know when we're gonna go live next. I'd say we probably won't go live for another month, to be honest with you. Just because I don't know, man. Like, I mean, there's not like a lot of stuff, you know. No, I'd say like for preliminary live stream schedule, I'll try to do one like once a month in the off season. So we'll do one for the spring game in March 28th. We'll do one probably at some point in May. We'll do some more in June, July when it's the summer and I have more free time. And then obviously we'll do some when the season comes around. But again, live streams, you know, I'm mostly a video channel, but I try to get on live stream so I can talk to y'all. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Oh, good point, Jimmy. Good point. Yes, I probably actually will go live for another basketball game. I actually good point, Jimmy. Good point. I think I'll go live for our NCAA tournament game, or I'll go live for if we make the Big Ten championship or the Big Ten semifinal. I'll go live for that. That's a really good point, Jimmy. I think that's when we'll go live. Yeah, because really okay. I'm hoping if we have our NCAA tournament game, I'm hoping it's either Friday or Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. Because basically the way my classes work, I have Monday through Thursday. I do not have Friday classes. And my last Thursday class ends at like noon. So I'm hoping, I have my studio at school. It doesn't have my main stuff, so I can't really go live there. You know what I mean? So if I were to do like a in-game watch, it would be, yeah. So we'll do that. We'll definitely we will definitely do that for sure. I think, yeah, good call, Jimmy. So that's probably the next time we'll go live. All right, here we go. Illinois up 1, UCLA with the rock here. 30 seconds left to go. UCLA top of my goodness, I can't even think of my calling skills here. Now on the wing. 25 seconds. Oh, he stepped out. Did he step out? Oh, he took a timeout. Oh my goodness. Top of the key is what I was trying to say. 25 seconds left. Took a timeout. Have you thought about doing a live reaction for Nebraska winning games against their opponents in football? I don't think I'll ever do a live reaction for football, just because I'm trying to like, if during the football games I am locked in. I am doing my notes. Again, that's why, like, I'll do my post game show obviously, but again, I'm locked in. And I want to enjoy the football games too. So I don't think I'll ever do, like, I did one last year. I did a live in the middle of the Houston Christian game. And it was okay, right? But I just did it because it was an FCS game. To be honest with you, I'll probably do it again. I'll probably do the same thing for our FCS game against North Dakota. So I can guarantee you probably one, but I don't, like, for like Ohio State, like, no, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to enjoy the games as well. Again, and I'm locked in, man. I'm locked in. Like, it's all business is what it is. It's all business. But yeah, I'll do one probably for one of the non-cons, right? That's what I can tell you right now. I can't tell you I'll do that. I can tell you I'll do that for sure. Wilson, do you get into spring practices? I do not. Well, because I never applied. I don't know. I'm not. Well, first off, okay. I don't live in Lincoln. I live in Omaha. So I'm not gonna go drive down to Lincoln. Well, first off, I'm taking 20 credit hours a semester, right? I got classes all day long, 4 days of the week. I don't really, I don't got time to go down these practices. I just don't. And again, I never applied. If I applied, I don't know if I'm a YouTuber. I'm not like a traditional journalist, right? So, but no. Yeah, facts. The only time we went live, the only 2 times I ever went live during games were 2-0. So maybe I'm the good luck. All right, guys, here we go. 25 seconds left to go versus Illinois and UCLA. We need UCLA to win. UCLA's down 1. They have the rock underneath the hoop. Give it over the corner. There's a 10-second difference between shot clock and game clock. On the wing now, driving inside on Illinois. Put up a layup. Tough one, blocked. Offensive board. There's a foul on the floor. It's on Illinois. UCLA will go to the line for 2. UCLA will go to the line for 2. Turner and Gill's days of coaching, I think, are done, man. They're done. They're done. There's like a bunch of randoms, right? Like who is the assistant with the Seahawks? Pete's will probably be a head coach at some point. First up and good for UCLA. There's some like Ryan Held's already won. I don't know. It's tough to say. They're scattered. There's so many around college football who are like just assistants. All right, here we go. Second free throw for UCLA, 92-92. We need them to win. Need them to win. Super big for Nebraska. Come on. Come on. Second free throw on the way for UCLA. Got to make it. Come on. Got to make it. Got to make it. It's up. Got it. Swirls around. Okay. UCLA 93, Illinois 92. 16 seconds left. Illinois has the ball. Let's see. All right. They inbound it over to Wagler. He has on the top of the key. Will he take it now or will he wait? Now on the wing. Driving inside. Trying to find a shot. Driving. Kicks out to three-pointer. Got it all the way. No good. Rebound. Got it. Offensive board. They got it. UCLA has to rebound. Oh, they took a timeout. They inbound, and they take a timeout with 3.3 seconds. What an offensive board. Put it back up and in, and UCLA is in a very, very tough position. Ah! That's not good for us, guys. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Zach Taylor after the Bengals let him go. I don't know if Zach Taylor get fired. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It'll be tough. He's gonna stay in the NFL though. He's not going to college football. He's not going to college football. He will stay in the NFL. Hold on. Yeah. They're gonna put time back on this clock. 5 seconds left. Why hasn't Mike Eckler tried to become a head coach? Some coaches don't want to be head coaches, and some coaches aren't meant to be head coaches. Like Mike Eckler, and I made this clear when Mike Eckler was here. He's not meant to be a head coach. He is meant to be a special teams coordinator. He's meant to be a positional coach. He's not meant to be a head guy. You know what I mean? So it's the same like Keith Williams, for example. Keith Williams, great wide receiver coach for Nebraska. You know, what was it, a decade ago? He was never meant to be a head coach. Okay. Addison Williams, I think, is a great DB coach. Addison Williams is not meant to be a head coach, at least in my opinion. He could be, but I don't know how great that would be. Some coaches are meant to be positional coaches. Some meant to be coordinators. Some are meant to be head coaches. That's just the way it is. All right, they're going to put extra time on this clock. 5 seconds. UCLA's down 1. They have an opportunity to make a buzzer beater to beat Illinois. Let's see what happens here, folks. Long time out. There's also a review. Emma Johnson's brother worked with them last offseason. Yeah, shout out to Emma Johnson's brother. Shout Charles, man. Front of the channel. Front of the channel, Charles, dude. Front of the channel. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Front of the Charles. The whole Emmett family. Front of the channel. Okay, what is it? This is the longest time of all time. Mick Cronin, buddy. You got to get your bag here. I mean, and UCLA is also on the cutoff line to make the NCAA tournament. They got to win this game, man. Here we go. Huge for Nebraska. 5 seconds left. UCLA will inbound under their own basket. They have to go the full length of the court. They have 5 seconds to do so. They got to put some up. They have to take a high percentage shot. Do not throw a baseball pass across the court. That's not going to work, right? You have time. You set something up. You have time. You have time. Here we go. 5 seconds. And there's going to be another time up at Illinois. Okay, they're really They're really going to play this one out. They're really going to play this one out. My gosh, dude. Wilson, I can't wait till you say Nebraska's back. Sheesh, man. I don't know. Nebraska's back. Oh, that would get meme. Somebody would clip that, dude. Somebody would clip that from an opposing fan base and would meme me. They always do. They always do. Baggage about Bo Pelini. It's a never, Doc. Bo Pelini's done with coaching. I mean, he's retired. I mean, I don't think there's a single Nebraska former coach or former player who's coming here to coach going forward. I mean, there's not. There's just not. Bo Pelini's done. And Bo Pelini also does not know modern day college football. He doesn't know NIL. It's a completely different sport than what it used to be. You know, I don't think he'd find success because Bo Pelini was a hothead. Okay, so Bo was successful 10 years ago when people couldn't transfer, or you know they get in trouble for transferring. Now, if he gets somebody, they'd be gone. All right, 5 seconds left. UCLA to inbound. They need to go all the way across the court. Down 1 point, 94-93. Here we go. This is for the game. In overtime. UCLA to inbound. They got it across. Cross midcourt. They're driving inside. Put up a tough layup on the way. And got it. It's on the buzzer. UCLA wins. UCLA wins. UCLA wins. Bang, bang, bang. And they storm the court. That's crazy. That's what college basketball is about. That's what college basketball is about, isn't it? Isn't it, folks? They're reviewing it. But there's nothing to review, idiot refs. I hate it when the refs are like reviewing the most obvious buzzer beater of all time. What are you reviewing? Well, that was off with plenty of time. Oh, we gotta look at it, guys. We gotta look at it. Oh my gosh. Huge win. UCLA gets it done against Illinois at the buzzer. So what does that mean for Nebraska? Because that means a lot for us, guys. That was huge. That was actually very important. So now, what that means for Nebraska, were really two things. Number one, there is now a. Is this updated? I don't know if this is updated with 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So now there is a 3-way tie for, or really, yeah, there's a 3-way tie for second place in the conference between Illinois, Purdue, and Nebraska. That's number one. And number two is this. Now, with us losing, but now Illinois losing, we're not going to drop below Illinois. Illinois is below us, still in the poll. Kansas, with them losing today, implicates like that changes up some things. I just don't think Nebraska is going to drop in the poll at all. Who would we drop below? So yeah, I mean that's huge for Nebraska, huge, and that allows us to potentially still be, we could still potentially be a 2 seed because of that. Who's 11? I'm trying to think who 11 is right now. Who's 11? Who's right behind us? Florida. Who's 11? Yeah. Oh, 11's Gonzaga. Yeah, we're not. Gonzaga's not going to go ahead of us. Yeah, we could. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Huge for us, because that means now we could potentially be a 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament. And again, if we're a 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, we're a 2 seed in the NCAA. So that's huge, guys. Huge, huge, huge. Huge. All right, y'all. With that being said, we're not going to react to the Gonzaga game. Gonzaga will pull it out like they always do at the very end. All right, guys, let me know your final stuff. I told you I was going to wait till the end of that game so we could live react to it. It was worth it. It was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. So that was good that we reacted to that. So with that being said, let me know your final stuff. Again, so as you guys think of your final stuff, make sure to hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. The schedule for live streams going forward, again, I think we'll do a live stream for some Nebraska basketball game. Again, won't be a regular season game. It'll be either the Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament, or both. And then we'll go live for the spring game. But again, there's just not going to be a lot of live streams going forward. But again, I'll try to let you guys know what the schedule is going to look like for that. So again, just expect one for the spring game per usual. Expect one for one Nebraska basketball game. Be there for that. Yeah, and we'll try to do one like once a month, once or twice a month when we get to the summer. So, all right, guys, final stuff in here. It was good talking with you guys as always. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do another spring practice update tomorrow. We'll kind of talk about some stuff we didn't talk about tonight. Selection Sunday stream. Good point, Nolan. I was thinking about that. I'm on the fence about doing a stream or like a live reaction. Okay, stream could work. Stream could work. Yeah, we might do a stream. We might do a stream because that is yeah, we might do a stream. Okay. Yeah, we might. That might be a good call there. That might be a good call there, Nolan. Good call. Good call. All right, y'all. I think everybody's wrapped up for the night. I'm getting tired. My voice is gone. So, all right, y'all. See you in the next one. See you tomorrow. Again, we'll do daily content all season long. Y'all know the deal. We'll try to do again news updates almost every single day, assuming there's news. Film reactions. Nothing new, man. We'll keep grinding, keep going on. Right, it's gonna be a fun off season. Start to believe, start to get a little optimistic because again, it's more fun to people at least get a little bit excited. So, all right, got a lot to talk about Nebraska basketball, Nebraska football, even a little bit of Nebraska baseball as well. All right, guys, go Grad. Have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. 2 hours on the dot, by the way.